Welcome to the Bad Dice Podcast with your hosts, Ben Curry, who's just out to crush Hobby with the new filth, Mark Wildman,
hello,
and Gareth Diggs.
Lavender pillow mist. It is absolutely heavenly.
Hello and welcome to episode 92 of the Bad Dice Podcast. We're all in the house. It's me, Ben,
and Mark,
And Gareth.
and in this episode we're going to be talking about a bunch of tournaments we've been to. We've all been to one, a team event, Brothers in Arms, and you've both been to one, haven't you?
No, only me.
You played at one, and that was the
Open war.
And did you go at all, Gareth?
I didn't play, I just went to have a look.
Went down to have a
You
wander around.
turned up late and picked up a gift and then waltzed out.
Correct.
Nice. Shook some hands, kissed some babies, all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And we'll also be going to do our Law of Death review. So I think we're going to start off by going straight into our Fortnite in Fantasy. And where do you want to start, guys?
Painting?
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Anywhere.
Have you been doing
I think
much
I'm the
painting?
only one who's done hobby, haven't I?
Yeah, I think so. I've not been doing much recently. You've made a start on your vampires, haven't you? Well, maybe not a start, but you've
No. Yeah.
I've opened a box.
opened a box.
Have you read the book?
No.
No,
You
fair
know,
enough.
just nod. You meant to say yes or no,
Sorry,
not just
no.
nod.
No.
Great radio.
Shake my head.
Okay, so what have you been up to then, Mark?
After Brothers in Arms, I was quite impressed how my skeletons performed. So I went home Monday night, started painting skeletons. So I've painted 20 skeletons.
These are just warriors with shields.
Yeah.
And you've never had any before?
I usually have like a little bunker for my wizards. Sometimes I use them, and they've always done quite well. But then I just was really impressed with them. Cheap. Put a nice spell on them. They're really good. Would you pay 4 points a model for a Weapon Skill 10 Initiative 10 model?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's one way of looking at it, isn't it?
And what, 150 points for 30 models?
Was it that the warriors were good, or was it that the characters that filled the front rank were good at not dying quickly?
Column A, column B.
Yeah,
but even so, I mean, like little combinations like 30 skeleton warriors versus a horde of bloodletters. Bloodletters will kill half the unit, even with crumble, and then they're pinned and they've lost their hatred.
Yeah.
Knights go in, just little things like that.
So they're not there to win the combats; they're there to hold for a round or
Yeah,
two.
and actually, just holding points as well. I just thought I was just really impressed how well they achieved actually. Just 150 points for 30 models, lots of models on the board. Not going to die, done. And so I've got 2 units now.
Nice. Okay. So
Yeah,
how many
yeah.
have you painted? 20.
20. I haven't got the bases yet for them, but I had. I made Gareth cry because I had 20 skeletons, vampire skeletons, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
And I decided instead of buying 30 skeletons for the Tomb Kings, I'd use them instead and use unit fillers because I'm only working part time now, so I haven't got as much money as I used to. So I'm just like looking at what I've got, what money I've got, what models I've already got. I'm not going to spend much money on them. 20 skeletons, a couple of unit fillers. There's some skeleton warriors, so I've actually only painted 20.
Okay.
Put
but
Tomb
still,
King shields on them, so they don't look like vampire skeletons.
no, just a bit different. The Tomb King shields are really nice, so I thought.
They are, yeah. They're like proper character of the army. I think. I mean, you go in Bugman's, the shield in Bugman's is a Tomb King shield that represents the army, so it's the same. And I've done a bit of green and purple on them, and so really jazzed them up myself, really. So they're really good.
I started painting a Tomb King army. I was going to do an alive army, and my test model was a blackguard with one of the Tomb King shields. Thought it looked really good. Just the shield on a different model looks nice.
Yeah,
still,
I really
still
like
makes it look really Tomb Kingy.
Yes, yeah. No matter sort of kind of what model you've got, it's good. Enjoy it. Enjoyed painting them actually.
I think that's all we've done then, because I've done nothing modelling wise. I've been a bit lax these last few weeks. Last bit I did was before the Warlords GT.
Painting your
Did some
executioners.
executions. That was a month ago. So
I
time
kept on
flies, eh?
trying to throw the vampire book in Gareth's face, not literally, metaphorically. But you've not picked it up, have you?
No, the book, no. No.
Okay, so what about tournaments then? We've been to Brothers in Arms, the team event. Now, you guys says that when you turned up tonight, been to 2 tournaments. Oh, really? 2 tournaments? Seems ages ago. But yeah, last episode went out on the Saturday of the Brothers in Arms event, and we were off at the team event, smashing some face, or
Yeah.
maybe not. Some of us were getting smashed, unfortunately. I think Gareth took pasting over the weekend, didn't you, mate?
think I lost every game.
No, you didn't.
No, you drew. You drew you drew against us.
Annie Fanny.
Yeah, Annie Fanny.
I'm stand corrected. Yes, I did. Yeah, I drew.
So, what were your thoughts on the team event, guys? Because you two have never played in one before, have you? Gareth's obviously been out to the ETC, seen that environment, and sort of dipped his toe in, but not played in one. But your first experience, wasn't it, Mark?
Proper good. Yeah, I can see the attraction by it. Really, really good. Just sort of like playing with your teammates and wanting them to do well, not just yourself. And actually, just the dimension to the game. Matchups, draws, what's good, what's bad, where can you do well, where can you do bad, what can you lose against, all of that lot I just think is awesome. I really had fun. I can see how you can get sort of like heated, like our last game where I think we kind of could have got the matchups a little bit better, or maybe played a bit better, probably a bit of both really, and it's like fucking giving me the wrong fucking matchup and it don't matter. It was good, but it was it's really difficult to explain because it's just a different kind of event, a little bit more difficult logistically to manage because you need equal amount of teams and then you need 4 for the tournament.
For the tournament organising.
Yeah. So I don't think you could do them all the time.
No.
No.
I don't think you want them all the time. I think part of the attraction is that it's a bit different from the run of the mill.
I think if you have 2 a year max, because if you have you need a spare team, so that's 4 people you've got to have spare, and I think it'll be too difficult to achieve.
Yeah, it could be. I reckon
more
so.
regular, but yeah, it's good to keep it.
So, what were your thoughts on it, Gareth? Because obviously we played against all 3 of the top 3 teams in the end, so you was obviously thrown in at the thick end against some good players. So, how did you feel about that?
Wrong team for me to be part of.
You think so?
Totally. I should not be at the top tables. I shouldn't be at table 1 or table 2. I should be down the middle to bottom. It's not my style of playing, really.
But did you not feel good still being, team Bad Dice and, normally when we go as Bad Dice we get a ringer in or someone, but this time it was, us 3
A what?
a ringer, a spare player who is not actually a Bad Dice. Yeah.
Because I didn't care that you were losing your games part of the team. It didn't bother me.
No. We sort of went in knowing, obviously you're less experienced than the rest of us, so you'd be struggling. But we just based that, based our pairings around that. So
I didn't really care the fact you were losing your games at all. It was more to the point of the team and being actually part of the Bad Dice team, which was what I was more looking forward to.
Yeah, no, maybe, I don't know. I don't have any strong feelings about that. When you're playing people up there, and I'm talking about the top tables, they've got a different playing style, which didn't necessarily echo my playing style. And when the final game, your opponent, and I love him to bits, I think he's awesome, kept turning around and checking his other guys, I couldn't give a toss what everybody else was doing. I was just worried about my own game. That he's in for the kill and he's in for the win, and it's kind of like, I don't know. I wish he was playing someone that could give him more than I gave him, basically.
I think you made that last game, especially. You made a few sort of small errors which cost you the game a lot, but I think you actually did all right. Thing is, we told you. I think each matchup we told you sort of what you needed to do. Do this, stick it all in the corner, kill his war machine, sit at the back. No, you did all that, but what we didn't sort of account for is actually you going beyond that and sort of if their tactics change. Like the last game against, was it Haristo? Mm-hmm. You played against the guns, and we just said kill the war machines, which you did, but then we didn't really give him any more instructions about what if the Dwarf Lord runs at you, and actually what you did after that. And I think that's where your ability lets you down, but actually following instructions and being part of the team.
Do you feel like you learnt some playing against the higher end players or not?
Yes. I learnt that I'm not going to take shit. And actually what I mean by that is I got something wrong, which was refed against me, and I understand that and hold my hands out. But, and this person knows exactly who I'm talking to, and even you said some kind of, I don't know, belittling comment or something to Mark saying, well, it's his own fault. But I wasn't having that, where at the start I set my steam tank up to face that. That was my target. And then we even said, oh, I'm not quite sure, or he said, I'm not quite sure that it can see that, so I moved it again to make sure that it was definitely facing that target. And then it came to the shooting, and it can't see it. And I'm saying, it can see it. Totally can see it. No, it can't. It's only going to touch it by an inch. I said, I'm not having this, because we moved it, and he said, but I even let you go back and move it. Yes, you did. Why would I put it so it was only an inch there? So I shouted, Mark, and he couldn't come over to me. I literally shouted at him, and then he couldn't come, so I shouted a ref. And he was, I mean, the guy who I was playing was just, I'm not going to name who it was.
I'll name who it was, because it was Matt Howley.
It was.
And it was in... Well, no, Matt, everyone on the scene knows who we're talking about, because the situation was, and Mark said this to me, and I can see both sides, because it's difficult, because obviously you're newer to the game, and you're taking it on faith that you have a discussion with someone that something is going to be like it is. A phase later, he's saying, "Oh no, it's not." So Matt's in the wrong in that if you agreed with him that you could see, and you could move your tank wherever you wanted. It's not a situation of you don't have enough movement or anything like that. You can pivot to face whichever direction you want. So you can move towards his Iron Blaster and shoot at his Iron Blaster. So if he's agreed that with you, then he should stand by that. But on the flip side of that is, if you want to shoot the Iron Blaster, make sure your steam tank's pointing directly at the Iron Blaster. So, I can see both sides of it.
I have a bit of a spacky eye as it is, and we needed a laser pointer to do it. Now, fair enough, by a millimetre, it was slightly off. But the way I looked at it, physically
it looked like it
looked like it was pointing at it, and he knew that I was declaring that charge. But I rolled, I hit it, I rolled a 2, I wounded it, I rolled a 5, I said, take that off. And Ben Johnson in the background said, and I think that's karma, Matt. And I was absolutely happy then.
So what happened? The ref had ruled, oh no, you shot it with the cannon first, didn't you?
I think you could only just clip it.
Yeah, clipped it, but I said, why would I position a cannon, a steam tank, whatever, so it just clips it by that tiny little bit? Why would I do that? Why would any player do that? And that really pissed me off. Yeah. And that is what you get with the top players at the top.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if you think about it from Matt's point of view, it's a team event, and he wants to play for his team. And if he's just looked at it and thinks that's not pointing at it, then it's in the interest of his team to. You can't shoot because you're not pointing at it. So I can kind of see both sides. But at the end of the day, if you've agreed with someone, the point is, I'd never agree with someone. I'd do it. I'd make sure in my mind it's right. And then there's no discussion of, oh, we agreed this previously. But if you have agreed with someone, it's difficult to then find out that they want to take it back. So
absolutely.
So I'm in the agree camp. So I'd say I guess that's just me. If somebody's trying to do something and it's really complex, and I know what they're trying to do, it's clear they can do it. They're just faffing. I know what you're trying to do. Just get on with it. That's just me. I guess
I'm in the camp that I would do it how I think's right, and if they want to hurry me to agree, and I'd make sure it's still right, because I've been in Gareth's situation before where I've done something, we've agreed something, and a turn later. Oh, you can't see. But last turn I positioned it and I could see. Oh, no, you can't see. Look. So, I've been in Gareth's situation and it is shit. But, the best way to do is learn from that, and in future, just make sure you're satisfied that it can see, and don't listen to what your opponent says.
No. So in my last game, I said several times, please listen to me. That is facing that, because I will be shooting that, and it's going straight through the centre. Do you agree with me? And he went, absolutely. He says, I'm not a millimetre player.
Yeah, that's fine.
Millimetre gamer.
Then. So, there's different players, and it is unfortunate, but, you had a bad experience, and unfortunately you had a bad experience, so you had to drive, hour and a half in the car on the way home.
It wasn't. I think
it's fine, because
from it,
if someone pisses me off, then they know they've pissed me off, and it was fine. He won that game in the end, so it didn't matter. But I still took the thing off straight away, and that's all I care about actually from the whole game, that I took it off and stuffed it in his face.
There was so many of your games where if you'd just done something a little bit different, I think you could have
won them all.
Yeah, not won them all, but there was like a couple of little things, but I think you learnt a lot though. Playing
I
at
did,
the top,
but
you
I've
learnt a
learned
lot.
that you've said to me you need to be playing the top players to get better, but I don't want too many ways. I played Jake in my third game, and it was like he was the best person in that whole
He
team.
was,
I
wasn't he?
ended up playing him, and it hurt my head. I was
He-
drained.
Their do you know what their team plan? That was when was that game 3?
Game
Their-
3
their
against
team-
Sheffield, the Steel Legion. It was the boys from Sheffield.
Their team plan was get Jake the best matchup and all the other guys lose.
Yeah, and our plan was let Jake play Gareth because Jake will probably win, and the rest of us will smash the rest of their team, and that's what happened.
That's what we did, didn't we?
And what we was trying to avoid was Jake getting a 10 against one of the rest of us, and someone else getting a good result against Gareth. So we, Gareth, unfortunately for Gareth, he got thrown to the dogs. But
Well, actually, Jake,
some people
I was-
would really,
I was-
be down taking it on the chin every game. But Gareth I think he just rolled with it.
I did.
Well,
I really took it on
you
the chin
did-
every
you-
time.
You
Yeah.
did against Leggy. You did exactly what we told you. Dweller's the Vampire Lord, just in case, just because he rolls the Lookout Sir, then rolls 6, he's dead. Cannon the Vampire Lord, you did exactly that, and it was...
I did everything you asked every single time. And Johnson said to me, but you didn't win. I said, nobody ever asked me to win. And he didn't have an answer for that.
skills. That's a
But
good
even
answer.
with that game with Chris, there was one time, and this is the kind of player that I am, he forgot that a spell wasn't on or to take a spell off, and he backtracked and did it, and I let him do it, and you guys moaned at me for that. But that's the
Chris
kind
shouldn't
of...
have asked.
No.
Chris should
Naughty.
not have asked.
No, fair
Naughty.
Warhammer lesbian.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad for any of those pictures I post to him after that, actually.
No, definitely not.
So actually, the clock is 0. The bar is now at level.
There was some excitement in that round, though, wasn't there? When you hit the Vampire Lord with a cannonball, and he failed the Lookout Sir,
Yep.
failed the Charm Shield,
Yep.
and there must have been 20 people run to the table to see what was going on, and then rolled a 1 to wound. And Gareth just smiled and carried on. It was, yeah. Took him in stride.
That would have just made... Do you know what made my weekend had the Vampire Lord died? It's just proper made my weekend.
I would have won that game if I'd have done that,
Yes.
because his army would have crumbled. So,
Yeah.
sod it.
There you go.
I didn't care, though. I still gave him a cake.
He never bought you a drink, though, did he?
No, he didn't even
Bad
buy me a cup of
sports.
tea for £1. £1 cup of tea.
Yeah,
he
let's
owes
talk
me.
about that. £1 for a cup of tea in Stockport.
It's better than... Was it 2 years ago, South Coast GT, £1.50 for a cup of tea?
Yeah, but that's in Portsmouth. You can kind of take a bit of inflation as you go south. You go north, it's getting £1 for a cup of tea. Oh well.
And
Okay, so that was the Brothers in Arms event. I think,
awesome, though.
yes,
Really, I had proper good fun playing as Bad Dice. Old Bad Dice, 2 new ones, and you. I really enjoyed it. Really good.
I really enjoyed it as well. I thought my list was good fun to play with as well. Very different, and some of the games people came to the table and just went, "What am I going to do against that? I've never seen that sort of."
Did you
list
enjoy
before."
playing
So-
that? Because you've had a
Yeah,
bit of a,
three assassins, 100 spearmen, and 2 level 4s. It was
You've been a bit lowy, Dark Elves, haven't you, recently?
yeah. I think the problem is I was using a list that I knew would do well at the ETC for the past 6 months, and it's not really cut it at the
Main events.
in the
yeah.
normal UK scene. So, oh well.
I still think the big blocks plus Mind Razor is how Dark Elves still work, and they do it.
Yeah, I think so. But when Mindres is comped at the ETC, I can't use it. So
no,
I'm
but I'm
trying
talking about
different
other
stuff.
events, kind of thing.
Yeah. Definitely. Okay, so the winners at Brothers in Arms was Nick Pym's Urban Assault Unit or something
like that,
called. So that was
Some
Nick,
shit like
Leggy.
that.
It was the guys we played in the first round. Nick, Leggy, Jack Armstrong, and Tom Hall as the last minute stand-in for Russ Veal.
Yeah.
So
Did we win that?
no, they got a slight victory. Leggy beat Gareth. Ben drew 10-10 with Tom. I got a 12 against Jack, and I think you got 12 against
I
Nick
did,
as well,
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
you? So
Oh no, I think it should have been more because we've got to knock 10% off of his score as well. Don't look at me like
don't
that.
tell me things like that, Mark. Don't tell me things like that.
I don't think it would have made one iota difference.
No,
really.
maybe not.
Do you know what you said to me before we went for this event? You went, really, really wanting to be part of this, babe, because we want you to have a winning icon on your
Yeah.
rankings HQ.
You kept
Did I
saying
get a
that, didn't you,
winning
Mark?
icon? Did
No.
I get one?
We didn't win.
No.
No.
Did I get a second icon? No.
No.
Did I get a third icon? No. What did we get? A sixth?
Sixth or seventh.
7th.
I know I could have done better than that on my own.
Well, probably. I think we met. The last round, I think, could have turned anyway. Had Gareth not have ballsed up his demigriffs and put them out of his generals and BSB range.
Blame Gareth. That's
Blame
it.
Gareth.
That's-
Actually, if I'd have not, see, I'd forgotten.
He didn't even hit him.
I used to be really good at playing against Bretonians. I drew Bretonians, and it was quite funny because we were drawing out the list, weren't we? And you just went. On my list was Bretonians, no. That was all we said was Bretonians against my army, no. And that's what I got.
But the choice was you or Gareth against the Bretonians, and
Yeah.
I knew the Bretonians have given Gareth the ships in the past.
Yeah.
We did 2 whole episodes on how
Yeah.
the Bretonians just rolled over.
But
so
the interesting thing is, I'd kind of had a bit of a brain fuck, basically, because I'm sitting there. I forgot little things like thinking that...
Roll some dice?
I've totally forgot Bretonians Prey, so I get first turn. Don't look at me like that.
and you're blaming Gareth. You lost 20-0 in that last round.
I know, and it's just a few things I kind of... I see where I made my errors. Yet, at the same time, I still think it was a tough match for me. Because if I don't Killing Blow the Lord and the heroes, the game's dead. I lost anyway. So I think it was tough, but that was my... I would say I lost the game through inexperience versus Bretonians. That's I think how I lost.
Okay.
Yada yada. In all fairness, though, every single game, I was just like a lamb to the slaughter, and I didn't moan, I didn't ask, I didn't say anything. But this one final game, I said, I do not want to play Bretonians. Do not let me shoot myself in the head because I don't enjoy playing them. And so you needed to take it on the chin. And I was hoping you were going to get at least a couple of points, but no, you didn't.
None. well,
So wrong team
Actually-
for many reasons.
Actually, you should have bloody well done as you're told in the Empire, the Dwarf game then.
But I did.
When we
But
said turn your back on
actually,
the Dwarf Lord so he can't kill you all your characters.
When did you say that?
Ben said he told you.
Did you? What does that mean? Turn your back on it?
No, the reason it's down to you, that one is Mark. The reason I spoke to Mark about putting the stubborn crown in your on your hero was so that if a big unit comes into you, you can just turn your whole unit around and let them charge you in the rear, and then they've got 3 or 4 rounds of combat before they kill all the halberdiers before they can attack your characters. And Mark said he told you all about that, and that was why he was happy to have the stubborn crown in. And obviously,
Yeah. It's good to tell people how to build a house and then just make them go and do it. You need to show them. You need to be there. You learn by osmosis, Mark. You can't just
you've
say,
been
oh,
playing
you've got a
this game
stubborn
for-
crown for do this.
You've
Mark's the
playing
worst teacher.
You've been playing this game for about 18 months.
Yeah, but I don't
haven't
know the rules,
you?
do
18
I?
months.
Mark, you lost 20-0 in the last round. You got the same points of Gareth, so you
How
can't
many points did you get in
criticise.
the last round?
5. So, I need to talk about this. I forgot. So you know how everyone talks about the combos in Warhammer, and there's some really horrendous ones like Withering to lower your toughness, then Curse of the Leper to take your 40 spearmen and 3 assassins off.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on. Yeah, 2 dice, double 6, Curse of the Leper.
Nothing you do about
Take
that,
them
is
off.
there?
No. Well, I could have spelled Withering, but I thought I'd take the risk. Because the other option was buboes twice, which do a wound automatically to my level 4, and I thought I needed my level 4. Because at the point, I knew we was losing the round, so I needed to push for a big win, which means I need Mindraiser more than I need 40 spearmen with 3 assassins. So I could have won 12-8, maybe 13, no problems, but it wouldn't have been enough. I needed a 20.
I think, to make that round any different, and I think had I played better myself. I think, to be fair, that's the only game I think I played shit, really. I think I could have played better. That's the only game. But that's my lack of experience. So I think also more experience for that actual list, because I've played 5 games of Warhammer with that Strength 8 banishment list.
How did you find it? Because we talked about this a lot.
It's good, and it's got a lot of fear to it. And actually, with more practice, I think you could win a tournament with it. I think you could easily win tournaments. If I was gonna say like in the South Coast GT comp, I don't rate it because the Wizards, you don't get the extra points. So in this comp, I got an extra 200 points. So effectively, all those Wizards came from that 200 points. So
Yeah.
I get the 3 points plus my army. South Coast GT comp or something of that nature, I I don't rate it because it takes away too much from the rest of the army.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I actually think the
fair
Ramatep build is better.
Yeah, I think you might be right on that, but at the 2,600, it's definitely worth it, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Because,
Okay.
Because you
Well-
don't need Ramatep.
Well, we'll go for a break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about open war and some army swaps.
Oddgames.co.uk is the best online store for all hobby products. It's the place to go for your gaming needs. You get up to 15% off the Games Workshop range and the best prices on the net for Magic the Gathering. There's also a huge selection of board games with weekly special offers. And they also stock some fantastic hobby materials, such as magnetic racing kits. Ooh! And you can earn odd points to get money off future purchases. And UK postage is only £1, no matter how large the order is. So Bad Dice listeners, you can get a further 5% off this Christmas with the code BADDICEXMAS. So go on, go to oddgames.co.uk and enjoy these fantastic deals.
Okay, so we're back from the break, and we're going to talk about Open War. Now, Open War is a one-day event run by the First Company veterans in Nottingham. It's been at a couple of different venues, Warhammer World, and now at Maelstrom Games, the Eye of the Storm venue. Over the last few years, it's been sort of alternating. And this year, there's a bit of a Twitter and forum thing started off, didn't it? About a bunch of guys wanting to do an army swap. Now, there's 24 players at this tournament, and I think half the field was swapping armies, were they?
No, I think it was about 8 of us.
A third of the field. Still
Yeah, a third of the
quite a chunk of the field. So where did this start, and where did it come from?
Well, me and Howley have always been talking about doing some kind of army swap. And just because people talk about it all the time and actually haven't really... People talk about an entire tournament of doing army swaps, and you've got people breaking other people's models and stuff like that. So but we've talked about it ages because we thought it'd be fun. And actually, it's Matt Howley who's just sort of pushed it forward, saying, let's do it. And put shouts out on Twitter, who's interested. And I think Warhammer legend... Well, if you want to call him legend, Steve
Wren.
Me... John Walters, Panzer Harris, Ben Harris,
Ed Morris,
Sandy Wilson. Who else is
Ian
there?
Sturgis.
That's it, Ian Sturgis. Can't really.
Was
forget
Mark
that.
Borland involved as well?
No, he wanted to play with his vampires,
Okay.
and Gaz Taylor is another one. So I think there was about 8 of us. We all did an army swap. So we all said take a competitive army, but take something slightly different, not your usual internet TM build. Take something different and just submit it in. And Matt Howley randomly drew everyone. So Drew and I got the High Elves.
Okay, so what was in your high elf list?
Never played with High Elves before, and actually really enjoyed it. When I got the list, I thought, oh my god, what have I got? I had a level 4 on metal with the Steel of Power Dice item.
A Nullian Crystal,
Yeah.
I think it's called.
And the robes which make you ethereal.
Forlath's robes.
Yeah, that's the one. A BSB with the Dawnstone and 2 up armor save. A level 2 with pick your spells. 30 spears full command. 16 archers with a flaming banner. 10 archers. 3 eagles. 1 bolt thrower. 3 units of 5 great swordmasters. And 5 dragon princes. I always forget dragon princes. and the star of the shows were the swordmasters. Really, really good. They just on paper they.
3 units of 5.
Actually, no. Sorry, 2 units of 6, 1 unit of 5.
2 units of 6, 1 unit of 5. So how did you use them? You just threw them in front of things and, charge me, I'm going to hit you 12 times at strength 5.
Yeah, and then run away.
Yeah.
Or just run and flee from things. Because they're like chaff, because you've got the eagles, you've got the shooting, you've got the light magic, so you can pick your banishment, your fire, all that stuff. And then you've got your magic, you've got basically your metal magic missiles, so you can deal with metal quite nicely. And yeah, they're just proper. They're really good. I'm proper shock troops running, do a load of damage. If they die, you've lost 80 points.
Dark Elves could do that with executioners.
You'll only fail.
That's all they're good for, running away.
But they were proper, first game I played against Singe, and it was Singe's Dark Elves, which is MSU Dark Elves, just 2 units, 3 units of small, and it's really good army. But I had 2 units of the Swordmasters, line that they're like maximum charge distance for his level 4. Got one in, got glittering scales and enchanted blades off on 3 swordmasters that got in. Killed the level 4. Turn 2,
Filth.
done. And just loads of stuff like that all weekend. What was the other interesting things they did? Just going into like dwarf blocks, killing 7 dwarfs, dying. Next one, 7 dwarfs. And at that point, I'm up. And forgotten the other thing I had. 27 white lions.
27 white. Oh, right. So it was just a normal high elf list then.
Yeah.
Big white lion Death Star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
All explains it
I'm
now.
just sitting here thinking, there's something I've forgotten in that list. But yeah, I played against dwarfs as well. I was like, yay, dwarfs. But actually, it was a really fun game. He only had three cannons and an anvil. No, not 3 cannons. Organ gun, grudge thrower, cannon, anvil. And the star of the show was my level 4 when it went into the Longbeard block, and he went, "Oh, my lord with a normal great weapon will issue a challenge." And then I asked him, "Has he got any magic weapons?" He went, "No," because we'd already been in combat. I went, "I'll accept my level 4 really quickly." Why? And he rolled his dice. I was like, "Yes, ethereal baby, I win."
Skills.
Skills. So yeah, won all my games.
Nice. Came in, what, second place?
Yeah.
Nice big trophy?
Little trophy.
Oh.
Equal trophy. And
Only one day
I
of that.
picked up best painted as well.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
So you got judged on your own army?
Yes, yeah. They judged it, all the painting scores and stuff like that in your own army.
Oh, that's quite cool.
Yeah. They're really amenable. The good thing about Open War is that half the money they raise goes to charity, and there's always a massive charity raffle at the end, which is great. Really, really good. They've got good relationships with people.
Is there a receipt for the donation?
Yes,
Moving
there is.
on.
Yes, there is.
So Sandy Wilson took out first place with a horrendous vampire army. I'm hearing.
Vampire bus army.
Was it big skeleton unit, all
Skeleton
the characters?
bus. Yeah.
Shove it at people till they go away.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I think he got 3 big wins. It was only in his last game he didn't get a total win.
So I like one dayers. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I like them because you can take something different. You can do like the army swaps. There's less stress about them. I'm not saying that tournaments there are stress at tournaments, but there's just, I don't know. There's just something a little bit more relaxed about it. You're not putting a whole weekend into it. You've still got the Sunday to go out and do other stuff, and it's not costing as much. You're not going to, so it's cheaper generally. You can drive up there, drive down. And it's just you can take experimental stuff and not worry too much.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. You can take anything. It's not like the pressure of wasting a weekend on a rubbish army.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts, Gareth, from wandering around? Was the different atmosphere there?
It was all right. Bit.
You only turned up at 3:00 though, didn't you? So you turned up at, was it 3:00?
I can't remember. I don't look at my watch. Pass, maybe. Then I just looked around, had a chat to a couple of people, took some pictures. I'll upload those actually, the pictures. I forgot about.
Yeah, they can go on the Facebook page, can't they? In fact, anyone who's not checked that out recently, there's been a load from the last few events, hasn't there?
Loads from Warlords GT, isn't there?
Yeah, Warlords GT, ETC. Was there some from Brothers in Arms as well? I remember because I know at one point I sent Ben around with your camera, didn't I? Was it you?
Oh, you sent Ben?
Yeah, I sent Ben.
Yeah, they're crap though.
For the crowd.
He was just going, "It's not working." And he was flicking it, just going, "It's not
He
working."
needs to push it to focus before he takes a picture.
Yeah, right.
No, so they're rubbish. It was good fun. I knew most of the people there though, so. But I have got to do a shout out to someone.
Okie dokie.
His new boyfriend.
New boyfriend.
Yeah.
He is quite lovely actually. Gal Mansfield is awesome.
Silly
really.
name.
Well, his actual
Gal.
name is Gareth, which is an awesome name. But I do
With
have a
an
bit of
E
a
or
crush
an
on
A?
him.
No, he came last.
Gareth with an E or Gareth with an A?
Gareth with a proper Gareth. But he wants me to give a shout out to the Insane Gentlemen's Club, and I'm sure they'll like that listening. So thanks very much for listening, boys, and look after Gal because if I get my hands on him, I'll destroy him.
Nice. And you was also given a present, wasn't you, at Open War?
I was absolutely by Steve Wren. He said it was a peace token because he's moany generally. But what was it, Mark? I forgot what it's called. Hurricane?
No, I'm not gonna.
Luminarch.
You should know exactly what gift you've been given.
Yeah, but I can't remember what it's called.
A Mortis engine.
The Mortis engine. That's what. Let's eradicate that bit out. I got given a Mortis engine.
What a dickhead.
Yes, and I'm going to stick it all together myself, and I'm going to paint it, and I'm going to stick the bits where I want to stick the bits, because I don't think I can follow the instruction because it looks too complicated.
It's
But
not.
Okay.
Well,
Then it will
I'll
look
help
fine.
you. I'll guide your hands.
I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to trim it with my toenail scissors because I don't want to use your funny things. But yeah, I got a present. Very, very grateful for Steve Wren for doing that. And it's my first ever, actually completely my own, my precious toy.
Very nice, very nice. So we look forward to seeing that built and painted by the next show. No.
Well, this year. It'll be done this year.
Really?
Yeah, I'll do it this year.
Mark's joking.
Is that like the house our house that needs painting?
Actual house or...
Actual house.
Yes. That will be done
This year too.
this year. Decade.
Skills.
It's meant to be done last year. I want to do another shout out to Mr. Wren because he's so good at Warhammer. He got to the end of game 2 and he's playing against demons, and he's got all the shots in the world skink army. He's got like three.
Steve was in the army swap, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was,
So-
and he had lizardmen, and he had 2 ancient stegodons and about 5 units of 10 skinks, all with poison, playing against demons. And I went, how did you lose that? And he went, oh, I ran it all forward and the bloodletters killed everything. I said, didn't you just shoot everything? And he go, oh yeah, well, the skinks ran away, or they don't do that much. I said, did you not shoot the ancient stegs with the blowpipes? He went, they've got blowpipes. I went, yeah. And he goes, how many have they got? How many riders? And he was like, oh, 5 riders. And he's like, oh, they don't do that much. I said, they've got 4d6 each. He's like, oh, I'll shoot them next time. And then next game, he's playing Skaven, and he's going, I shoot really well with this army. He shouts across the hallway.
Skills.
I don't
Steve's
mean
been
any
on.
disrespect to him, but I think there's some people that are made to play Warhammer, and there are some people that are made to make tea for people. And he should make tea for people.
Or paint
He's
models.
good painter. He's been on the Daily Show recently.
Yes.
We've done a series of how to paint different colours. We've done a black, we've done white, we've got a yellow coming up next week as well, so check them out.
How to paint black.
Yep. Different
Stick
techniques.
your brush in the pot and paint it, surely, or use a spray can.
Funnily enough, them both of them things were mentioned. Yeah.
Just paint it black. And
Just
then it's
paint it black and also spray can it, and then a few other techniques, and also some more advanced stuff as well. So, yeah, both ends of the spectrum. So some good tips from Steve.
We do like our Steve, though.
Yeah, he's nice. He's really, really nice. I like him a lot
We like
more at the
mocking
moment.
him. And now Ed Morris hasn't come to the scene. Maybe we need to teach Steve how to play Warhammer. Maybe he needs to be our new plaything.
Your new plaything. That sounds a bit odd. I don't want to get involved with your two's playthings.
Shall I good stuff it? Good
You're
stuff.
good.
Gareth
So-
Mansfield's going to be mine.
Good stuff.
He's on the bottom. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so other general stuff we've been up to in the last couple of weeks. Great British Bake Off. So the final was last week. Have you watched it, Mark?
Yeah.
And Gareth, I know Gareth's seen it.
You watched it, didn't you?
Spoiled it on Twitter. Most upset at finding out from you pair who won it before I'd watched it. Cheers, guys.
Just don't
Do
go
you know
on
what?
Twitter.
I don't care.
Hang on. You know Jesus Christ Superstar?
Yeah.
Well, you hate going on Twitter while it's on because everyone tells you.
Yeah, I don't. That's why I
Oh,
don't do
really?
it.
Yes.
I don't. What is the point of going on a social media site when something big is happening in your life?
You shout.
The live episode of Emmerdale yesterday, or Thingy dying in Downton Abbey last week. What is the point of going on social media because people with big gobs say it? And I am one of those people, and I wanted to discuss with the other people about Great British Bake Off. So I said, yay,
Direct
Thingy
message.
didn't win, but Thingy won. I'm not going to direct message every single one of my followers.
Do you not like them?
You've got like 600 followers.
I've got nearly 700 followers.
I'll let you follow all your 2,000 followers, Ben. Go on, send a direct message to every single one of them.
All right. Sure, there's an app for that.
No, you need to do it.
No, so yeah, I watched it the night after. Once I knew who won, thought I'd still watch it. So
Do you
yeah,
ever
it's
pick
good.
up a newspaper?
No, do not read the newspaper. I haven't read a newspaper for at least 2 years.
But what about the news on TV?
Nope.
It wasn't.
Radio
I don't
news?
think it was.
I
on
get
the
all
news.
my news from Twitter. And if there's
Well,
something
there
really
you go. You did get the news from Twitter from me.
spoiled.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. So, other things... have
Bambi's
you
mum
guys...
dies.
Bambi's mum dies, yeah. Have you guys seen...
Titanic
what's
sinks.
this new movie? Looper, is it? No. Is it Looper?
Yeah.
Have you seen it yet?
No, I want to because I
quite
really
close to
fancy
that.
Jason Gordon-Levitt. Oh.
Looper. It's the new hotness. Quite want to see that. I wonder if you two have
Never
seen
even heard
it.
of it. I haven't. This is
We
the,
haven't been to the cinema for ages. We can't afford it.
This is the first time I've heard
People
of it.
send money and food
Send
parcels.
to the food parcels and cake. Send cake. Okay.
You don't need a food parcel.
No.
Nice.
Actually,
Some wine
don't
for me.
send cake because if you want my feedback, you might not like it. But at that tournament, the thingy tournament, I can't even
Open
speak
War.
now. Yeah, that's the one. Someone did make a cake, or their missus made a cake, and I did try it. I forgot who it was now, but the cake was very, very nice. If you made the
Was it the one
banana cake,
Maelstrom
no,
gave to everyone
no,
okay.
oh God, no, that was like
from Macro?
from Macro or something. I can't remember who it was. I feel really bad now, but it was a banana cake, and it was really, really nice. So well done, Mrs. Man.
Okay, anything else you want to cover before we move on to our Love or Death review?
I'm enjoying the choir.
The choir.
Gareth Malone. That's good.
That's very good. Yeah.
Watched an interesting documentary about. Who was that puff from
Queen.
why was I saying Gary Rhodes? He wasn't in Queen, was he? Gary Rhodes. Who was he?
Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury. That's it. Watched that this morning. That was really, really good. And I'm really hot on Wartime Farm. That's my life. At the end.
I've just recently bought a DVD of Les Dawson because I watched an hour documentary on him the other day, and he was so funny. I know it sounds really old hat and like I'm going back into the 70s, but he was so funny. So anybody who thinks that's really old hat and like rubbish comedy, I just proper don't yawn. Don't yawn at my
Wasn't yawning
segments,
at
my
that.
interesting pieces.
Gareth's rubbing his eyes and I'm yawning.
Pair of wankers.
Okay, on that note, we're going to go for another break and we'll come back with the Law of Death review. If you have some great conversion ideas, but don't want to buy a whole box of Mornfangs just for the pistols to convert your man-eaters, or a whole box of Temple Guard just to get the shields to put on your Saurus warriors, you can buy just the bits you need at bitsbox.co.uk. They have a wide range of Games Workshop bits, as well as items from Forge World, Max Mini, Cybor, and loads more. Go to the site and have a browse around at all the bits you could use for your next great conversion. You get free shipping on all orders over £20, so visit bitsbox.co.uk for all the bits you need. Okay, so we are back with our Law of Death review, drawing to the end of this Magic Laws review section. I think we've just got the Law of Metal to do after this one. Is that right? We've done the other 6 and
I think we've got
Death,
what have we got
the
left
7th
to do?
one today. I think that's right.
Got
So
Heavens and Death left to do.
yeah, today we're going to be doing Law of Death, and I think Gareth's going to lead us in with the Law of Attribute.
Yes, and just remember there is a TH at the end, not an F. Death.
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 Can we do it? Can you do it in the as though a deaf person would speak it?
No. Shall I do it as if the
Gareth
guy
would
who
do
does
it.
the X Factor does it?
Yeah.
The Law of Death. No, that's Brian.
Yeah,
Blessed,
go for it.
actually,
Go
isn't
for it.
No, I
No.
haven't got the energy. I haven't got the energy to talk. So, anyway, the law attribute is life leeching. Wizards who practice the magic of death can channel the life force of foes into their spells. When a Law of Death spell is resolved, roll a d6 for each unsaved wound caused by the spell. For each 5 or 6 rolled on these additional dice, the wizard immediately adds a dice to his army's power pool. And there's an addition which says, models removed by the purple sun each add a number of dice equal to their wound's characteristic. I don't really get this.
Okay, so which bit don't you get? All of it? All of it, all right.
Well,
so
no, I kind of understand, but I don't understand.
the purple sun bit at the
Yeah.
end. Okay, so what it means is you can have a steam tank with 10 wounds, and the purple sun takes it off in one go. So that means you'll roll one dice for each wound that was on the model. It counts as doing every wound at the same time, so you count 10 wounds. But if you've only got 1 wound left, obviously you just do 1 wound. So
It's not what it says, though.
it's what it says. Whatever wounds it's got left.
Oh, okay. It's not what
Yeah.
Gareth said. I thought it says removes total.
Did I read it wrong? I'm
So if
sorry
you remove
I
it in
read
one go, you roll the number of
Sorry, I was
dice.
just listening to what Gareth was saying.
I don't think he was listening. Equal to the remaining
Probably
wounds. So, and you get a roll dice back on a 5 or a 6. So there's some nice tricks you can do with this. Vampires can fire it through a unit of zombies that own zombies, and fire purple sun through their own zombies, kill a load of their own zombies, and get a load of power dice back. That's one good, nice little trick. It's also nice for when you are at the end of the phase and someone says, "Have you got any dice left?" No. And they'll chuck some dice. They're not expecting you to cast any more spells. All of a sudden, if you get 1 or 2 dice from the damage you do with that spell, then you can cast more spells.
That happened to me. I was playing. We just did an uncomped game and against Matt Howley's High Elves with Death, and I had my Orcs, and it was horrible because he just kept on bringing. His magic phase wouldn't stop. It just kept on going and going and going.
Yeah, and it's pretty good with Dark Elves when you can use the Sacrificial Dagger or Lizard Men with the Slan with Rumination, who can add power dice. Adding power dice that way and adding power dice for the Death Law, it's pretty tasty.
Very much so.
Very good. Okay, so what we've got next?
Spirit Leech, which is the signature spell cast on a 7+. The wizard extends an even hand towards the chosen foe, leeching its spirit through tainted sorcery. Spirit Leech is a direct damage spell with a range of 12 inches that targets a single enemy model, even a character in a unit. Both caster and target roll a d6 and add their respective unmodified leadership values. For every point the caster wins by, the target suffers a wound with no armor saves allowed. Full stop. The wizard can choose to extend the range to 24 inches. If he does so, the casting value is increased to 10+. I've had this done on me several times, and I've passed it most of the time. So in your face.
Yeah, I think.
It's usually what happens, isn't
Oh,
it?
I hate it because I've cast it so many times using Death Magic, and always seems to do nothing. And then some jumped up prick will just go, "Yeah, I'll cast Spirit Leech on you level 4 with a 3 up ward, dead."
Does that happen to your brothers in arms, Ben?
Yes. And it was the lovely George that did that to me. 3 up ward on my level 4, dead in 1 Spirit Leech.
Skills.
Not
Skills.
happy, not happy.
I just find it on paper it's really, really good, but in practice, it just doesn't do. I don't know.
I think it's nice to be there for the threat. What is nice is that it uses the highest leadership in the unit.
Yeah.
It says unmodified leadership, but there's not really a clear term of what unmodified leadership is. So
There is. It
if
got
you're- yeah, it's a bit convoluted as to the way it works. And here, to clear it up for everyone, I'll cover what that is. And basically, if you're in a unit and you're a wizard and you've got leadership 7, so say Empire leadership 7, and you're in a unit with a +1 leadership banner, that won't count. It'll still be leadership 7. If you're in a unit of great swords, who are leadership 8, am I right?
Yep.
You'll be able to use leadership 8, so it's the highest value in the unit. If you've got a character in there who's leadership 9, you'll also be able to use that leadership 9. So one thing you do see quite a lot of is a vampire lord who's leadership 10, with a couple of necromancers on Law of Death, both casting leadership 10 spirit leeches, which is quite powerful.
Yeah. I think the downside to that is the actual casting value of the extended one. What is it, 10?
Yeah, it's
So
10.
on a level 1, you're using a lot of dice.
It's 4 dice, I think, to
Yeah.
be certain.
So it looks nice, but actually in reality,
Have you played with Death Magic, Gareth? No.
Not yet. No, I was meant to last night, but I
Real
couldn't
life
be
got in the
arsed.
way. Couldn't be bothered,
I couldn't
no.
be asked. I haven't been asked all week with anything: life, breathing, eating, sleeping.
Spoiling British Bake Off.
Yeah,
Anyway.
John won.
Okay, on to the Caress of Lanith.
What? No, that's
Oh,
not
no,
right.
no.
Let's do the first spell.
Sorry,
first.
I blocked that one out.
Weirdo.
nobody uses it.
No.
So number 1, Aspect of the Dread Knight. Cast on a 4+. An invisible aura of horror surrounds the wizard's allies. Only the bravest foes will now stand before them. Aspect of the Dread Knight is an augment spell with a range of 24 inches. The target unit causes fear until the start of the caster's next magic phase. The wizard can choose to make the target even more horrifying if he wishes, and cause terror rather than fear. If he does so, the casting value is increased to 9+. What's the difference between fear and terror?
So fear, you need a fear test while you're in combat.
Yeah. Which is your leadership, isn't it?
Yeah. Terror, if you're charged by a terror causer, you'll take a panic test. But then once you're in combat with it, it reverts to normal fear.
So it's both the same. You've got to roll under your leadership.
Yeah, but
with terror,
terror causes a panic.
Yeah, if you're being charged by a terror causer, you need a leadership check. If you fail, you run away. So it's quite good to get rid of like units on the outskirts that way for general as a leadership range. Casting like the problem is it's a spell nobody ever uses because it's just rubbish, really. Because you can't. It's difficult. It's not. Is it remains in play or is it augment?
It is an augment, so it starts until the caster's next magic phase. So you cast it, and then next time you charge, it works.
Yeah.
So what it is quite nice for is casting it on, if you've got a big Death Star type unit, ogres with the Gut Star, and people are chucking things like harpies in the way of it. If you cast Aspect of the Dread Knight on your unit and they cause terror, those redirectors all of a sudden need a terror test. If they're away from the general, a failed terror test could be game over in some instances.
Yeah. I guess if you get the combo of like 5 harpies, then a Doom and Darkness, and then a panic check on the it's got its uses. I think the problem is the deck's got other spells which is just better, isn't they?
That's it.
And most armies -3 leadership. If you got Doom and Darkness, leadership 7 with a reroll.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it because it's too many. You have to wait for a turn to possibly maybe get a bonus.
Charge,
so. It's not all that good.
I think
but it's only a 4 to cast, so if you could just chuck one dice.
9.
No, it's 4.
Yeah, but the extended one's terror.
Oh, to go with the terror, yeah, sure.
I think if it was remains in play, it might be one of those spells you just stick on and then forget about it.
Yeah, but no.
Okay,
next up
is the Caress of Lanif, cast on a 6+. Lanif was an Araban sorceress whose ardent passions were eclipsed only by her capriciousness. It takes little effort to call her back from the spirit world to caress a new lover of the caster's choosing. The Caress of Lanif is a direct damage spell with a range of 12 inches that targets a single enemy model, even a character in the unit. If successfully cast, the target suffers a number of hits equal to 2d6 minus his own strength. Hits from the Caress of Lanif cause a wound on the roll of a 4+, with no armor saves allowed. The wizard can choose to extend the range of the spell to 24 inches. If he does so, the casting value is increased to 12+. It's a bit of a mouthful.
It is a bit of a mouthful. It's quite a good spell. It's one of those frustrating spells, again, like the Spirit Leech, where you expect it to do something, and most of the time it doesn't.
Yeah.
But then now and again it just goes batshit crazy and causes all sorts of problems.
At South Coast GT, I think it was on table 2 with Matt Hobday, Spirit Leech, not Spirit Leech, in is it Caress? It's called Caress in the Vampire Lord off. When you sort of like look at the maths, Vampire Lord should be all right, but took him off. 11 hits. 5 wounds, not enough ward saves.
Yeah, it happens, and I think it was actually the Caress that got my level 4 against George. Now I think about it, he rolled 11 hits, and what's that? That's 8. Then 4 + 4 wounds, failed 3 wards, dead. And it sounds crazy, but he did it twice in the game as well. He did it to a Pegasus Rider later on. So it is one of those spells that can be really devastating. And I think with the Spirit Leech and the Caress and the Fate of Buna that's coming later, they're the sort of spells that can really have an impact on the game.
Yeah.
They force characters to stay in units with magic resistance on them, or stay out of range or out of line of sight. So that it does really have an impact on the game, if it's not doing much.
It's just 10+ as well. The big ones cast at.
There's a 12+ on this, for 24 inches. Yeah.
You should have listened to me.
Definitely should have listened, Mark.
Shut up, you two. Wankers.
Any more to add on that one, guys?
I just think it goes... it follows on suit with the rest of the law, really, doesn't it? Sniping, and that's what the biggest sphere is. I don't think that's where the law's biggest strength is, personally, but it helps.
I think I've added up my characters. But you can actually target something in a unit, really, so it's quite good. Especially if I had that, maybe I could have got that bloody Vampire Lord with it.
Maybe.
Rather than my cannon. Because he can't stop that with his thingy, can he?
No.
No, and I think the threat there, and again, with a lot of the armour that's out nowadays, it's quite, I think it's really, really, I mean, it's good. It's excellent, sort of good default, strong spell, and your opponent's got to think, do I want to take it on the chin, and it could do nothing, or do you want to actually think about stopping it and then wasting your dice on something that could possibly do nothing? That's the sort of query you get, isn't it? It's got the chance of doing no wounds.
Well, I've got a spreadsheet here in front of me, actually, which is the chances of doing a wound based on the strength of an opponent. So,
Who worked that out?
I bet Mo Ashraf did.
No, it was Rasmus Hammer from Team Hammer, the Dark Elf player from the Danish ETC team. He worked it out when we was talking about. We were both taking the same list to the ETC. He sent me the spreadsheet over of the stats. So a toughness 4 model, the chance of doing a wound to it is 83%. The chance of doing 3 wounds is only 27%. You've got a 50% chance of doing 1 wound to a toughness 4 model if it's got a 4+ ward. So 58% that is. Now, a toughness 4 hero with a 4+ ward, 58% chance of doing a single wound. Now, after you've got to take into the odds of rolling the casting value, not having it dispelled, and then only doing 1 wound, it's not great odds, To do 2 wounds, you're looking at, 27%? No, even less than that. Yeah, so 27% of doing 2 wounds to killing a hero outright with a 4+ ward. It's not.
Is
not
he
great
single?
Odds. Probably. I don't know.
It's just quite bizarre.
He probably did it in work time.
What, that he's got too much time on his hands is actually what I'm implying.
Well, I think if you put it on Excel, you just can work it out, can't you?
Yeah, because that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go, one moment before I allow you to cast that spell and give you my opinion on what I'm going to do, I'm just going to consult my calculator and my spreadsheet to find out if it's actually technically possible for you to do what you're going to do.
So, as much as Gareth dislikes, when you do move up through the strength on this spreadsheet, you start looking at something that's strength 5, which, a lot of fighter heroes could easily be. You've got a 72% chance of doing a single wound. Obviously, if that's got a 4+ ward, that's down to, 36%. So, 4+ ward on a character, 36%. It's almost not worth wasting the power dice on it, is it?
No.
And the chance of doing 2 wounds, you're looking at a 20% chance if they've got a 4+ ward, and it's just not really worth it in my opinion.
No.
What it is good for is war machines. So when you target a war machine with a spell like this, you use the strength of the crew.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a toughness value of the combined profile value. Sorry, they don't have a strength value for the combined profile. They do have a toughness value.
Yeah.
So the Fated Buna would use the highest available, I think it would be, so it would be the toughness 7. But the strength, it would just go straight to the crew. So it's quite easy to kill a war machine crew, because normally they're only strength 3, and the chance of doing 3 wounds at strength 3 is, 40% chance of killing a war machine in one go. It's not a bad chance, really. Also, monsters, you tend to find monsters, although they are high strength, it is quite useful for just chipping away, doing a wound here, wound there. As Gareth probably knows, with using cannons a lot, I suppose quite often you'll shoot your cannons at a monster and leave it on 1 wound. If Death Magic had chipped away that extra wound, it could really tip the scales a bit. So,
damn, if only I'd had that little chart to work that out, and I would have known. But I do know that it's about a 68% chance that I'm going to land on the water company when playing Monopoly next time and buy it. I'm going to make my own little chart up to calculate
You've got too much time on
is this sucking all the fun out of the game for you?
Yeah, it is.
Turn it into
just
numbers.
bloody roll some dice rather than going, what is my percentage chance?
Okay, so we talk about we'll move on, and we'll talk about the percentage chances on Spirit Leech later on. Or maybe I'll have to do this one on a daily.
Kill me now.
I definitely.
It does. Do you know what? Sitting back and listening to it, it's proper geeky. The percentage chance of killing something.
He's not geeky though. He's got a 6-pack, I think.
Who's got a 6-pack?
The guy, hasn't he?
Oh, Rasmus. Yeah.
So basically, he's got plenty of time on his hands, and next time he sees you, he's going to beat you up.
Oh, I don't care. He can beat me up. I'll
Ooh.
grab his beep beep. Next one.
Next one.
Next
Good
one.
stuff.
Yeah. Is number 3, Soul Blight. Cast on a 9+. Harnessing the sickly power of Silish, the wizard weakens his foe's will to survive the battle. Soul Blight is a hex spell with a range of 24 inches. The target has -1 strength and -1 toughness to a minimum of 1 until the start of the caster's next magic phase. The wizard can choose to have his spell target all enemy units within 24 inches, in which case the casting value is increased to 18+. Double.
Awesome
So-
spell.
When you talk about the Law of Death, everyone normally immediately thinks of Spirit Leech and the Caress and obviously Purple Sun, but Soul Blight and the spell that's coming up next are the ones that are really the power in this law for me.
Definitely.
Certainly, Soul Blight, every unit within 24 inches getting -1 strength and toughness. That's just, if you're fighting 3 or 4 combats in one go and that spell goes off, it's just game changer, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. I used to use it loads for my beastmen when I used to have like loads of chariots and multiple combats. I'd just blow that up and yeah, awesome. Boop. Yeah, I think that's in conjunction with other spells as well. That's awesome as well. So if you,
It's a bit like Thingy from...
Tomb Kings.
No, from...
Beasts.
No. Do you want to let me get it out? Get the words out, girls. The law of magic that I did second, was it light? The one when you reduce their toughness and their strength?
Shadow.
That's the one. It's shadow.
Yes,
That's
it is a bit like Shadow in that you drop them both at the same time, but you only drop them by 1. So you get both stats, but it's a trade-off as to how much it goes down by.
But if you had a couple of Death Wizards and you had that, could you not take it down a couple of times?
Yeah, you could if you had a Law Master on Death and a second Death,
Yeah.
and both, you know.
I think this spell can be game winning at times. I mean, in a similar nature, Tomb Kings have got Desiccation, which is exactly the same, and I think it could be game winning. That on its own, like
Could it be game winging?
Yeah, it could be. Like just an example, my Necronites going into a Horde of Bloodletters, putting that on the Bloodletters, all of a sudden not winning you on 3s. I'm saving on 4s. I'm winning you on 2s. The fact that the favours you get in return and the downside to the Bloodletters getting hurt more, it's massive, and actually sometimes it's the spell they just cannot let you get off. So it's awesome. I think close to the best spell on the deck.
Maybe. I think it's the third on the deck, but it's certainly, like I say, it is close.
There's a reason why I say it's better than Doom
Next.
and Darkness.
Okay.
I'll give my reasons why.
Okay, so I think that covers Soul Blight. And next
Number
up...
4 is...
Oh, sorry, can we just go back to Soul Blight 1 second? What it is quite good for is the fact that it drops your strength, and then you can use that to drop the strength, and then the Caress to do 2d6 minus the strength, and the strength's already lowered. So a nice combo there between those two spells. Sorry, Gareth, I interrupted.
No, it's okay. I was actually just going to moan about the next spell, because I've had it done on me several times, and it's infuriating. It's like, oh my god. Anyway, it is number 4, Doom and Darkness, cast on a 10+. Spirits of the departed assail the caster's foes, sapping their resolve. And this remains in play. Doom and Darkness is a hex spell with a range of 24 inches. The target suffers a -3 penalty to its leadership. The wizard can choose to extend the range of the spell to 48 inches. If he does so, the casting value is increased to 13+. Yeah, I had this one done at the weekend by Matt Howley several times, and it was like, oh, God's sake. Considering I was 10, it was taking it down to 7.
If you're like an army with the level 4 as the general with the
You'd be crap.
It's like leadership 9, so your leadership 6. It's proper good. I think the other thing as well, the fact it remains in play.
The thing I like about it is, like you said, there's a lot of things that combo with it. One of the things I looked at when I took the Death and Fire to the ETC with my Dark Elves was Burning Head and
I think you should go to the GUM for that.
Burning Head and Doom and Darkness, or just Doom and Darkness, then a bunch of shooting and just cause some panic tests. Doom and Darkness, lower the leadership. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Or even if you've charged a unit and then it's fleeing, Doom and Darkness, stop it rallying. It's got just loads of options. there's a few armies where it's not going to be so useful against, but even those armies that are either immune to psych or whatever, normally things like swift reforms and things like that, you can still cause fail a swift reform test. It could be important. So it
I
can
guess
still
if you're in a stupid wood.
a stupid wood, yeah.
I mean, that's
demons.
why I kind of feel it's not as good as. I'll say it's an amazing spell, but not as good as Soulblight, because Doom and Darkness isn't as good against things like Tomb Kings.
So I don't know. The reason
vampires
I'd
and
rate Doom and
demons.
Darkness as higher than Soulblight is because Doom and Darkness is normally useful every turn. You can cast it turn 1, and it's probably still going to be useful. You're either going to be able to cause a panic test, or it's just going to stop their turn 2 magic phase by having to dispel it because it's in play. Whereas Soulblight sometimes, man's one toughness when you're shooting from distance. It's not, and not every army's got shooting. So I think all round, I'd prefer Doom and Darkness. You like Soulblight, so
I think holistically, Soulblight is
holistically.
Yeah, that's what I was
yeah.
about to say. That's a big
Holistically.
word for you, isn't it?
Fuck off.
Language.
That's the first swear on the show.
No, it's
I've
not.
sworn
He's
that.
already
Oh,
said fuck earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, I just said it, didn't I?
What do you think then? You're not a fan of Doom and Darkness, Gareth? You
not
like
being
it, but not
cast
getting
on me. No,
So that
I
means
don't.
you are a huge fan of it if you were using it.
If I was using it, I think it'd be really, really useful for if you're doing other spells or shooting at that unit, because you could cause a panic, and then people with fairly low leadership could possibly be going off the board, running away, bumping into other units, especially if it's the first turn as well. But you're right, you do have to use Dispel Dice to get rid of it, because it's not something you want on, because it remains in play. And it's really annoying that it remains in play as well.
I think I guess, yeah, because it means you've got to think, it's going to carry on waste dice to stop it.
Yeah, I don't think it should. I think it should just be for that turn. 'Cause it makes it quite powerful, and if it remains in play, then maybe it should be higher if it's that important.
What's it? It's 13 plus, isn't it? I mean, it's not even that much for the big
It's
one.
10 on the remaining play.
I remember at Sheffield Slaughter, I took level 4 death on my second wizard, and I took Doom and Darkness. And come game 3, every single turn, I was like 4 dice Doom and Darkness. And your opponent's going, well, I've only got 4 dice. I've either got to use my scroll, or I'm going to use all my dice. So either way, it's a win-win, because either lower their lead, they let it off, and you've got the catapults, the casket that can do loads of damage, or they use their scroll, or they use all of their dice, which you then got a free magic phase. So it's kind of like a win-win situation with Doom and Darkness, with Tomb Kings especially.
Still not as good as Soulblight?
Okay.
Talk yourself into it.
I have done, actually, yeah. But I think you need both. I don't think Doom and Darkness can't win you the game, but I think Soulblight can.
Yeah, it's no good being -3 leadership and then losing combat by a load, is it? Cause,
Yeah, because the Bloodletters takes 4 Necronites off,
Yeah.
when they could only be taking 1. So, yes and no. I mean, I thought they're very,
Horses
very
for courses.
close. Yeah.
Okay, next one.
Number 5 is The Fate of Bajuna, cast on a 13 plus. Bajuna was a mighty warrior, so the story goes, but famously never smiled. Leastways not until the trickster god cursed him to laugh until his sides ruptured and split. Tellers of this tale cannot agree whose fate was worse, Bajuna's or the servants who had to clean up the mess. The Fate of Bajuna is a direct damage spell with a range of 12 inches and targets a single enemy model, even a character in a unit. The target suffers a number of hits equal to 2d6 minus his own toughness. Hits from the Fate of Bajuna cause a wound on a roll of a 2+, with no armor saves allowed. If the target survives, he is subject to stupidity for the remainder of the game. There's a lot going on in that spell.
Yeah, there is. So, we'll start with the last part, I think,
Yeah.
because that's quite a nice bit that a lot of people, forget. It's
Well, I thought stupidity was only in certain units. You know, when people, got wrong stupidity. Oh, they're fine.
so now
Yeah,
you
they
can.
They're fine.
Okay.
It's usually geeks who take it.
Lisbon players.
Yes.
It's,
Dark Elf players.
no,
No.
not if it's sensible. You leave it all at home.
I don't think I've had a Dark Elf player that
What,
I've
with
done
cold ones?
You don't take cold ones. Leave them all at home.
You took cold ones.
Yeah, and I was stupid.
Only because Ben Diesel.
So did you have stupidity?
Yes.
Yeah.
Only because
Yep.
Ben Diesel beat you.
Don't want to talk about it.
Back
so
to this.
causing stupidity for the rest of the game. It's all right. It's not going to do a massive amount. I think if you're casting this spell at a character, there's a good chance it's going to do a lot of damage.
They're going to die anyway.
Yeah, the stupidity is a bit hit or miss.
It's the wounding on a 2+.
Wounding on 2+ is really nice, and comparing against toughness is good as well. But the downside of the spell, it's a short range. It's 13+ to cast. It's only 12-inch range. Less inches than power dice needed. So
that's the only. Isn't it one of the few spells in the book that doesn't have a boosted?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
That is correct.
I don't. Is that the only one?
It's the only one in the law.
In this law or in all
the whole
spells?
rulebook?
No.
Come on, Mark. We've done
No, in the
6
rule
law
book.
reviews.
Even I know that.
Listen to Gareth.
What spell? What other spell doesn't have a?
The one that you can bubble, but you can't extend the range of
No,
it.
it's still a boosted version.
Steed of Shadows.
There are spells. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Concentrate, focus. What does that matter? The listener doesn't care.
The Steed of Shadow. They will do because they'll pick up on it.
I don't care, so the listeners aren't
They'll
going to
go,
care. I am the everyman.
Flesh to Stone.
Flesh to Stone.
Steed of Shadows, Flesh to Stone.
Okay. I stand corrected.
Tell us, give us your wisdom. Shut up and
Cascading
keep
Fire
going.
Cloak. Sorry, carry on. So, yeah, similar to Caress, similar uses, less range, you know.
It's just the 12-inch
not-
range, isn't it? If your level 4's within 12 inches of a unit, you're probably doing something wrong, or you're winning.
You still haven't explained what stupidity is, though.
Stupidity. Take a test. If you fail it, you trot forward
A
D6
test of what?
inches.
Leadership.
Leadership test. If you fail it, you trot forward D6 inches, and you spend the turn being unable to do anything. So no casting magic, no shooting or fleeing or anything like that.
Did you say trot forward?
Trot forward.
Trot.
You trot
You
forward.
trot
Trot
forward.
Yep, that's the one.
My dogs trot.
They do. I guess that's quite good. You think of the stupidity bit plus do with darkness.
But I think you'd change that spell for one of the others.
You would, wouldn't you?
Unless you roll number 5 and number 1 at the same time, then you know.
Yeah.
I want to have a go with that. I think that could be quite fun.
I do. I played against a guy who had 2 Death Wizards. He had a level 4 and a level 3, and the level 3 had the flying carpet.
That's quite cool.
With a 4-up ward, so he'd be near his unit, so he's effectively got 2 4-up wards. And he can get into position to throw Purple Suns at people and to get into a position to do that. So actually,
Yeah, I quite like the idea of that.
yeah.
Okay, let's wrap up the lore with my favourite one. And also the one that I like the least.
This one is Purple Sun, Purple Sun. It is the Purple Sun of Zurus.
Purple Sun of Uranus.
Of Uranus.
Yeah.
Lovely. It's cast on a 15+. A colossus orb of purple-edged darkness materializes upon the battlefield. Those who do not escape its touch are turned to inert and unfeeling crystal. This remains in play. The Purple Sun is a magical vortex that uses the small round template. Once the template is placed, the player then nominates the direction in which the Purple Sun will move. To determine how many inches the template moves, roll an artillery dice and multiply the result by 3. Any model touched by the template must pass an initiative test or be slain outright with no saves of any kind allowed. If the result of the artillery dice is a misfire, centre the template on the caster and roll a scatter dice and a d6. The template moves the number of inches equal to the result of the d6 in the direction shown on the scattered dice. If you roll a hit, use the little arrow shown on the hit symbol, which I didn't know it actually had until Mark pointed out last month. In either event, in subsequent turns, the Purple Sun travels in a random direction and moves a number of inches equal to the roll of an artillery dice. If a misfire is rolled in subsequent turns, the Purple Sun collapses in upon itself and is removed. A particularly brave wizard can infuse the Purple Sun of Uranus with more power so that it uses the large round template instead. If so, the casting value is increased to 25 plus. Wow, it's a big one, that is. Takes steam tanks off. I don't like it.
I love it. I love it.
It's good.
The Law of Death, it seems the more I play it, the more it's all about casting Purple Sun at shit. It's especially nice when people think, oh, I'm really high initiative, it's not going to bother me. Then you go, okay, you're 20 Chaos Chosen, I'm going to Purple Sun, I'm going to kill, 3 or 4 of them, maybe 5. And they go, don't like that. And it's quite nice.
It's threatening. It is just good, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't. Some armies is not as good against elves, small armies, but then even that, it's the threat, isn't it? You can't really go wrong. The only times you can go wrong if you're a Tomb King player and you
misfire it and it goes through all your own stuff.
Yeah.
Even elves, you misfire it in the middle of a spearman unit and you're going to hit like 20 spearmen and, like I say, 5 die or something, 4 or 5 die. Quite bad.
Yeah.
This is one of the first spells that I ever had cast on me. Do you remember that gamey person at, I think it was Stockport? He cast it on my steam tank and he went, if I get an 11 or 10 or 11 or 11 or 12 or something like that, he says you take the steam tank off. And I thought,
Midlands Open?
No, it wasn't at Midlands Open. And I went, okay, well that's fine, 11 or 12, I'm sure he's not going to get that. But I ended up taking loads of wounds because I didn't realise exactly what the spell did. That was my naiveness. I remember this. I can't remember who the person was now though. But I just thought that it only did something if he got an 11 or 12 on those 2 dice.
Hang on, no, you're thinking of Gateway.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, scrap what I just said. I hope you enjoyed my story. Answers on the postcard.
It was a nice story. I liked
remember
it.
he told you that on 11-12 you take it off because it gateways, and that's all he said it did, and you went, oh yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
he didn't tell you about the extra hits that spell did.
Bastard.
Fair enough. No, I do love the Purple Sun. It's just every turn, Purple Sun. What it's really brutal with is Dark Elves and Lizard Men, or anyone who can add power dice after you've cast or at the same time. Because you do all your magic phase, you've got 3 dice left. And your opponent goes, so what spells have you got? Like, oh, I've got this and that. I've got Purple Sun, but it's 15 to cast. And they look at your dice, and you just 11 on 3 dice. Then you go, haha, dagger. So all of a sudden you need 11 on 4 dice. And it's so easy to cast. 15 sounds a lot, but it's
not though,
really
is it?
easy.
11. You can easily do it on 3 dice, couldn't you?
Yeah.
3-4 dice max.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a big fan of Purple Sun. What I'm not a fan of is misfiring it and killing my own stuff. Certainly things like Cauldron of Bloods, War Machines, Initiative 7, Pegasus Riders, all that sort of stuff. At Brothers in Arms, I cast it 30-inch range, rolled a 10 on my artillery dice, went through George's, Hydra, both Pegasus Riders, a Shade unit, some Dark Riders, just through the whole army, killed a load of stuff. It's just like, Purple Sun.
Skills.
I love it.
I do miss Purple Sun with my Tomb Kings. I might have to put a Death Wizard back in my Tomb King army.
As we've been discussing.
Now, just talk us through exactly what you need to do for this, because I read it out, but I kind of still do get confused. So if I say, right, Curry, I'm going to cast Purple Sun, what do I then do?
Okay, so I've got a unit, I've got a wizard on the corner of the unit.
Correct.
I say I'm casting Purple Sun, I've rolled it, I've rolled the casting value, you've failed to dispel it or whatever. So I put my template down anywhere touching the wizard. So assuming the wizard's like stood at the corner of a unit, I could put it straight in front of him, it's fine. I could put it behind him actually if I wanted.
Okay.
Just touching the wizard, anywhere just touching the wizard. It says, what does it say? Once the template is placed, the player nominates the direction.
Yeah.
Simple as that. So you just place it touching the wizard. And then you choose the direction. So you could actually go back through himself. What is quite useful...
No, it's direct damage. It's got to be in your forward arc.
Oh, is it? No, it's a vortex.
No, I think Vortex has still got to be in the forward arc.
Okay, let's double check.
Magical
what
vortex.
is nice is you can place it, and if you're in combat, you can place it on the combat unit you're fighting, and then move across the front of your unit and kill the unit that you're fighting against. And they all take initiative tests. So just run the wizards, run the combat units
it's got no targeting
forward.
restriction, so you can actually do it into combat.
But you do have to roll an artillery dice to
so
find
you
out
roll
the direction it goes.
Yeah.
No, you roll an artillery dice for the distance it goes and times it by 3. You choose the direction.
Oh, I'm with you. Sorry, you're right. I think you rolled them both together. So you're right. If you are in combat, and you can cast this in a combat, surely, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. So if I've got my big block of halberdiers, and there's the wizard casting me, and he says I want it to go straight through that lot.
Yep.
That's
And
interesting.
you do actually have to, I've just checked the rule book, you do actually have to place it in your forward arc.
Yeah.
So you can put it in your forward arc in front of your wizard on the combat unit you're fighting.
Yeah.
And let's say they're a horde, you can move down the length of the horde, across the length of the horde, Or if you're fighting someone in your rear and you're like elves, high initiative, and behind you you're fighting something like dwarfs, it might be worth going through your whole unit, back through and out the back of the unit and through everything.
Okay.
So what it is great for is killing war machines. What I'd often do is, measure the distance. So you've got a 3-inch template, so you place that down in front of your wizard, and then you know what your multipliers are on your artillery dice. So if you roll a 4, it can go 12. So you've got a 15-inch range, or just less than 15 inches for your template to clip that war machine.
Yeah.
And again, if you want to gamble a bit, you could go up to 6 on the artillery dice. All of a sudden, that's a 21-inch range for your template total.
Because you've got to remember, you get the few extra inches on the template.
Yeah, or the artillery dice times 3 plus the length of the template just to clip something.
Okay, well, just say that I'm now in combat with something or other, and the guy's just casting that, and I've got my demigriffs next to my big unit of halberdiers, okay? 6 demigriffs and my 30 long halberdiers, and he's rolled a 10 on the artillery dice, so it can go 30 inches through my halberdiers and my demigriffs.
Yep.
What happens to them now?
So they all take initiative tests,
Every single model.
and if they fail, they die.
Wow.
So no armor saves, no ward saves, no matter how
Just dead
many
Dave.
wounds, it's dead Dave.
Dead Dave. So initiative of my halberdiers is 3, and demigriffs is
4. You use the best available initiative.
and you
on the
roll
model.
1 dice?
1 dice per model.
1 dice per model.
So
Wow.
it does do quite a lot of damage. Then when you think you've got things that are like a dwarf army, all really low initiative, a load of war machines packed in tightly together, you could run up with a big purple sun using the 5-inch template and hit everything in the army.
Okay.
And it really is good. One thing it doesn't do is if you've rolled 12 inches on the template and that stops over the middle of a unit, it carries on going out the back of the unit and stops as soon, like a fleeing unit would. So it carries on and it stops as soon as it's got room to stop.
Right, okay.
But models that it passes over in that way don't count as being hit by the template.
Okay.
So only the models hit by the distance rolled count as being hit.
So you can't sort of slingshot it halfway across the battlefield like a fleeing unit would.
No,
Yeah.
fair enough. So it says it remains in play. Next turn, what
end
happens?
end of the magic phase,
Yeah.
it moves randomly. So this is really useful. You fired it through the middle of an army, caused loads of damage, and then it's still in play, and it's a 15. And it could go anywhere next turn. So it's great against ogres and stuff like that because they don't. Even if you don't roll high enough to hit their unit, it could stop in front of their unit and stop them being able to move through it. So it's got a lot of applications. Launching it from if you've got a wizard in a unit, what looks like it's going to get into combat, just throw the purple sun out at the ogre unit, and all of a sudden, if the purple sun hits them, it's going to damage them. If it doesn't hit them, it sits in front of them. They've got to run through it, and it's win-win. It's just such a good spell. I'm a really big fan. I always take it, even if I'm playing other high initiative armies. I still pretty much always take it, just because it's so easy to cast. 15 sounds a lot, but it's really not for what it can do.
So if people pass their initiative,
Nothing.
nothing happens to them, but it can pose a threat because it will stop people where they go next time because it remains in play.
Yeah,
So
I-
it's still useful.
Yeah, I did it Sheffield Slaughter, I think. I threw a Purple Sun at a unit of 4 Mournfang, and I rolled something rubbish, like 4, and I was just in front of the Mournfang unit, or the burst, something like that. And it was like, well, actually, that's just achieved what I wanted, because the guy wasn't going to charge all his ogres through the Purple Sun. So it can have sort of like, it can force somebody to not charge you, because it means they'd have to charge through it, and they wouldn't want to do that.
So if it's done that, but he decided to charge through the Purple Sun,
Yeah.
what would happen to him?
They'll all take initiative tests.
In his turn or in
Yeah,
the next
yeah.
magic
Straight
turn?
away, as soon as you go
Okay,
through it.
excellent.
Okay, the other thing to think about is, so if I cast it at your steam tank,
Yeah.
you're going to want to dispel it, right?
Yes.
Because it dies automatically.
Yeah.
So
no,
if you
no. Steam Tank still takes initiative test.
sorry, no. So if I'm casting it at your war machines,
Yeah.
dies automatically. You're going to
Yeah.
want to dispel it.
Absolutely.
Casting it at your steam tank,
Yeah.
50-50 because you're initiative 3.
Yeah.
You're going to want to dispel it.
Yes.
Yeah. What if you're initiative 6 and you only fail on a 6?
I won't roll my unseen lurker dice.
But would you take that gamble? A 1 in 6 chance of losing your best piece?
Possibly.
That's the
Possibly.
thing.
That
So-
is not 100%.
Things like Bloodthirsters, initiative 9 or 10 or something. Do you really want to take the chance of rolling the 6 and losing your Bloodthirster?
That's the same with Dwellers, Bloodthirsters.
Yeah.
Blood
Yeah, yeah.
6.
I'd contemplate it. It isn't a complete no-go. It is if it's like a catapult or something
Sometimes
like
you
that.
have to take that risk, and
And
I
that
think
can be game winning.
yeah, of course. And That's why I think it's such a useful spell. So I'm a big fan of Purple Sun.
Well,
That's
let's
why
applaud
I've
it.
talked about it for 20 minutes.
Well done,
Well done, Purple
Sun.
Sun.
And
Okay.
it's the right colour as well. It's my favourite colour.
Purple Sun,
Yeah.
indeed.
So that is the Law of Death.
Yeah, so let's talk about uses for the Law of Death and how it combos with other spells. So let's look at first, if you've got a level 4 on Death, what other laws do you think are quite useful to take with it on a level 2 or even another level
Shadow.
4? Yeah, see, I agree with you on that. Why do you think Shadow?
Because I think there's lots of buff spells in that as well, and I think probably, other than like direct damage and shooty things, they are possibly the best combos of all the magic. Because what's the big one in Shadow?
They've got the Mind Razor.
The Mind
but
Razor is what I
Also,
was looking for, dear.
there's Pit of Shades.
Pit
in
of
the Shadow
Shades
deck.
is another take
So,
off your steam tank
yeah.
as
Then
well.
you've got 2 initiative-based spells,
Yeah.
and they've got the Miasma, which lowers initiative.
Oh God!
So all of a sudden
miasma.
you've got miasma to lower initiative,
Yeah, yeah,
and then
yeah.
2 initiative spells. So that's a really nice combo.
Absolutely.
Also, you've got the things like the Withering for
Speed of
Fated
Light.
Buna, and then
Shadow.
Enfeebling Foe to lower the strength, and then the Caress. So yeah, there's some really nice combos
100%.
with Shadow and Death, and this is what I've been using recently with my 2 level 4s in the Dark Elves.
See, I think going on what I actually think is Shadow is great, and the two match really well because you've got loads of combat buffs or debuffs with Shadow, but then you've also got the ranged offense with Death. Because what I find with Shadow is it lacks the ranged capability which Death gives you, because you can just go right. I'll snipe that character, go for a small win.
Yeah, and I think with Death, you can sometimes struggle against hordes,
Yeah.
and also Shadow, you can sometimes struggle against hordes. But with the 2, when you've got Purple Sun and Pit and Miasma, that can soon 50 slaves. You put a Pit into the middle of them with a Miasma -1 or -2. All of a sudden, it's half the unit dying.
Yeah. Now, I also think Death goes really, really well with Beasts. Because Death has got the shooty pew-pew damage, whereas Beast has got the combat buffs, which let you win combats.
So you're just looking for the level 1s with Wild Form.
Yeah, because you've got Wild Form 2 or 3 times, plus Soul Blight, so you've actually got the combat debuffs 4 times, and you can't let any of them get off.
Just imagine if you are fighting against someone and you cast the Withering, Doom and Darkness, and Purple Sun. That all remains in play. They're not going to get anything off that turn, are they?
There's a Enfeebling Foe as well, so there's an extra one. You could have 4. Yeah.
I think that would be fun. I'd like
Yeah.
to see someone. What are you going to do? You're going to cast a spell, or are you going to dispel them all?
Do you know, if
Next
somebody
turn.
gets all of those spells off, I'll give them a quid.
A quid?
Yeah.
Give them 2.
What you got to think is with Death Magic, you might get them because
You might.
you generate an extra dice. And they're quite low to
the
cast.
lore attribute, yeah.
Yeah, you're quite low to cast. Enfeebling Foe, a 10. Doom and Darkness, a 10. It's not...
I think this is going to be my combo for Beer Hammer.
Beast Hammer.
Beast
Hammer.
Hammer, sorry, not Beer Hammer.
So you want
We've
to go
done
for
that
double
one.
level 4, don't you?
I'm gonna
Soldier's
go-
Arts
Well, you could
Vector.
go level 4, 2 level 2s on Shadow. 2 lots of Miasma, then Purple Sun. Loving it.
I think this sounds quite...
When you cast Purple Sun, you have to sing Purple Sun. Purple Sun, Purple Sun.
Yeah, you didn't do it as good as me.
Sorry.
You're not
Okay,
going to be
well-
in my work-based choir.
No. The other one I like with Love of Death is Fire, and I know we always say Fire is great. But Doom and Darkness, Man's the Leadership, then a 3d6 Fireball to force a panic test,
Yeah.
or a Burning Head to get a panic test through. That's quite a nice combo.
The other one Lizardmen always uses Death and Metal.
Yeah,
It's
Death and
combo.
Metal's nice. Seems to work, There's a lot
You got
of
the combat debuffs,
Yeah.
buffs from Metal, and then the pew pew from Death.
both easy to cast,
Yeah.
quite low. So
Okay, here's a question for you, to both of you. Sentence to describe the differences between a direct damage, a hex, an augment spell, and a vortex, please. Go.
An augment spell is cast on a friendly unit. It lasts to the beginning of to the end of your next magic phase,
unless it's remaining play.
unless it's
And no
remains.
remains in play. Yeah, no, you don't have to do those specifics. So an augment spell is cast on you.
Yeah,
Okay. Direct damage
direct damage is a spell that doesn't need line of sight.
doesn't need
that-
line of sight.
and is cast in your forward arc.
Okay, right, that's interesting.
yeah.
Forward arc, but you don't need line of sight.
And you can also cast it while you're in combat.
Out of combat.
So
Out
you can
of
cast
combat.
it from combat at anyone, but not into combat.
Yep. But forward arc, not line of sight.
And then the other one's Magic Missile, which
Magic Missile, shit, yeah.
needs line of sight.
Yeah.
It's like shooting, basically.
Yep. Hex
And that is like the Augment, but on the enemy.
on the enemy, and you don't need to see.
Can go into
Cool.
combat, can go behind you, everything.
It can go into combat. And Vortex into combat.
That's the template. It just goes next to your wizard and then moves.
That's the one we've already talked
yeah,
about.
we've just talked about that. But there's other Vortexes as well, isn't
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
Yeah, other books.
But you can do it in combat. You can shoot it out of combat,
You just put
into a combat,
Put
wherever.
it next to your wizard,
Yeah.
and then choose the direction to move it. And that's the only restriction.
That's interesting. That clears it up, because I do get a little bit confused.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so looking at death the other way and looking for... You've got a level 4 of something and a level 2 of death or level 1 of death. What laws are good for those level 1s to support? I think in this instance you're just looking at level 1s with Spirit Leech, aren't you?
You are,
really?
yeah.
So-
with your combat general.
What do you think? Yeah, combat level 4
Vampire
and
Lord.
just Vampire Lord.
Is that the only army that has?
No. Dark Elves can get it. High Elves can get it. Empire.
No. I mean, having at the level 4 caster who's leadership 10
Um,
with the support of with a death level 2 support or death level 1 support.
Yeah, I think so. Level leadership 10. You could get
I can't think of any
an
other
elf with the Wizarding Hat, I suppose.
What does the Wizarding Hat do?
Gives a normal hero magic levels.
level, but also has stupidity.
Yeah, and they have to randomise the spells they get. Randomise which law they get and randomise the spells in that law.
It's also
Can I
It's also
get
100
that?
points.
Can
Yeah,
I-
it's a
it's
rulebook
100
magic
points.
hand. 100 points.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's a lot, isn't it?
It's
There's a lot.
crazy.
So, do we think combat level 4s is best to be supported by death, or do you still see them backing up a shooty one? You know, if you've got a lot of magic missiles like light or something.
I don't know. I guess it's one of these ones where I don't know how much great of a support law it actually is, because it's relatively high casting, isn't it? I mean, you've got
Yes.
some low casting, but for level 1, you've got like some cast at 10, and that's 4 dice. At that point, I don't know if you're achieving that much.
I think you're right. I think for the most part, you're better off just going with another law and sticking to level 4s on death.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
I'd have a level 4 on death. Just definitely.
Matt, on the army swap we talked about, I gave Matt a slightly experimental Tomb King with supported by 2 level 2s of death, and Matt was like, "Ooh, yeah, on paper it looks alright," but didn't cut it. Didn't really cut it.
Didn't cut that mustard.
No.
Okay, well, I think that wraps up our Law of Death review. We're back with another one in 2 episodes' time, and we're going to do the Law of Metal.
Absolutely.
And I think that wraps them up. We'll have
Have
to
we done
double
it?
check.
We've got
Have we
Heavens
done
then.
now?
No, we've not
No.
Done, we've done Heavens. We've not done Metal.
We haven't done Heavens. I have not done Heavens.
No, I don't think we've done Heaven.
I haven't done Heavens, I haven't done Metal, and I haven't done the Law of Beasts, dear.
We've done Beasts.
We have done Beasts.
Did I read that one?
So we've got Heavens and Death. We've done Death. We've got Heavens and Metal left to do.
Oh, we did do Beasts.
We've done
I
Beasts.
haven't played with
Are we
Beasts.
then going to talk about the army books after this?
Yeah, I think we want to do an Empire review next episode, don't we?
It is next episode.
And
Yes.
then we're just gonna. I don't know. We'll
I think we might as well do all the
take
other
some
ones.
take some feedback and see what we can come up with. So
What would
Do
you
people
like?
want us to do each law of all the separate armies? Like the orcs? All the orcs got 2.
we
Tomb
could do.
Kings, ogres.
Pass that bridge when we come to it. But for now, we'll go for a break. Then we'll come back with Gareth's favourite section.
No, it's not. My favourite section is sitting there making cakes and eating ice cream. I do just want to say, though, thank you to the people, and there's been a few people who have said when they read their magic laws, they can only hear my voice. You poor people. But thank you very much. Lovely compliment. Oh, for goodness sake. I've just had an email from a tournament organiser saying that I've submitted an illegal list. What's that all about?
Well, didn't you get Mark to send it in for you?
No, I sent it in by email. Look, have a look.
Oh, okay. I can see what the problem is. You've got the points values wrong. The formatting's all off, and it's pretty hard to see what's going on with it all.
Ah, that Wildman. Well, what can I do to improve, Ben?
Well, didn't you use Quartermaster?
Quartermaster? What's that?
Quartermaster, put simply, is the best app out there for Warhammer players. It's available on the iPhone or the iPad and lets you write lists for all your favourite armies. Save them for later, or share them with other Quartermaster users. You can send them as email, or post to forums, and even print directly from the app.
Wow, that's amazing. Never again will my points values be wrong. Never again will I be sending it in the wrong format. Quartermaster, how amazing.
You can download Quartermaster from the Apple App Store, and you can get more information from quartermasterapp.com.
Fantastic.
Got some crap you want to know? Give Gareth's Query Corner a go. La 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 la.
Gareth's Query Corner.
Hello and welcome back to Auntie Gareth's Queer Corner. I've had some letters. Now, actual letters on paper through my door. The postman knocked me up and unloaded his sack and it was full. I've had a very interesting letter, and I did get a little bit spooked because, number one, how the hell did they get my address? And number two, I wasn't expecting it. So, it says, Dear Gareth's Query Corner, when the podcasts are released, my husband insists on playing them in the car. My question to you is, do you think it's appropriate for our 3-week-old baby to listen to, or do you think they should be listening to my choice of musicals? And will the early exposure to Warhammer advice turn her into a geek? Thank you from Helen Taylor. First things first, no musicals. Turn our bloody podcast off and put some show tunes on, darling, because she'll be fabulous. But as she does get to listen to my voice, then no, maybe keep her on because it might keep her asleep. But she has also said, when is your show in the West End? That will be released very, very soon. And also, she said, what army should I get our daughter? And do you think Wood Elves might be redone by the time she is 14?
Don't be silly. No.
By the time she's 14. I think that one came from Chris rather than Helen.
Actually, yeah, that did come from Chris, by the way.
Right.
That is in brackets, so well done. I would say something a bit girly like Wood Elves or something like that, though the blokes who play Wood Elves might disagree with me there.
I don't know. Depends if they're filthy enough.
But actually, do you think that our podcast is very family orientated?
Not really.
I think it's getting there recently. We've been doing a little bit better.
Piss.
I think so. And do you know what? I swear on a daily basis, and it's me that is the champion now to get that foul thing removed. I don't care about the sexual double entendres and stuff like that. People, if they don't like it, deal with it. But the swearing, I think we can do without.
I do like how you speak to Mark, looking at Mark when you're saying that, because it is
Generally Mark says
Mark,
it.
the foul-mouthed social worker.
I don't fucking well swear.
Mark is the only one who said the C word on this podcast as well. Cooking! But that is a lovely letter, and thank you very much. I still don't know how she got our address, but you know, that's. Did you give her it?
Because Chris has come to pick us up in his car before.
Yeah, but she's got the postcode and all.
What do you do? Oh, I'll give you your postcode. I'll put it into my sat-nav.
Clever boy. I like it. It was lovely to get it.
And
so,
it is a handwritten letter.
It is a handwritten letter.
Proper
And
laid
you know
out like a letter as well.
and it smelt nice as well.
Hey,
And it's not been behind my air freshener
It hasn't
this
been
time.
behind your
She
freshener.
scented it.
She did. She scented it. She went,
She's a good girl.
Lavender Pillar Mist. Thank you so much for your letter, sweetheart. I do think that your 3-week-old daughter should, but just remember that musicals are a priority. So listen to a bit of podcast, turn it off, and put some musicals on, dear.
So I suppose it's a good time to say congratulations to Chris and Helen on their new
yes.
baby.
Oh,
And
yeah.
also
Well
to Adam Hall and his wife,
has he got a new
girlfriend.
Has she popped hers out too? Then, yeah.
Nick has popped the second one out.
Well done.
So
When was that?
congratulations to them about a week ago.
Aww. Warhammer babies.
Well, I'm a baby. It's flying out everywhere.
When's yours coming, Ben?
We're not.
No, he's talking about yours. No,
Mine.
He is just fat.
Oh, right, okay.
Cheers.
Bum, bum, bum,
Thank
bum.
you, guys.
But we had another letter that came through the
you
door.
spell
as
Another
well.
one. And this one's on some nice paper, I see.
This one is on, I'm going to call it Hick paper, but I don't think it is Hick paper. It's basically paper that you'd have for Oklahoma or Wizard of Oz or something like that. It's like a nice sky with corn at the bottom. It's actually really, really nice. And this letter came all the way from Alberta, Canada, from Mike Hasgard. Now, he sent Mark a little gift and put a little treat in there for me. And it says, Dearest Gareth, I hope this letter finds you well and that you are enjoying the autumn. No, it's cold and we're forced to put the heating on, and the heating in our country is very expensive, so no, I'm not. I quite like No, I'm going to change that. I really like Gareth's Query Corner segment on the podcast, and I have 2 questions for you. Number 1, have you considered finding words for the la 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 part of the theme song? Perhaps a contest? I understand if you prefer it as it is. Being the composer, I prefer it as it is. But what could you get in the la 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 section? If people can think of something to put in the la 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 section, let Ben know. Just keep posting.
Just let Ben know.
Yeah,
We
just
don't
let Ben know. No, we do care. No, let us all know. Cause
DM Ben on Twitter.
I don't know what you could put in the la 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 la. Think. If people want to come up with some new stuff, I will re-record it, possibly with a 20-piece live orchestra. And that actually might happen as well.
That would be amazing.
That would actually be really good.
If it is a possibility, do you know, I might actually do that.
Do a Bad Dads theme tune, 20-piece orchestra.
Yeah, but I've got the 20-piece orchestra, which you'll find out about in a moment. But yes, that's good. And the second question, how do you feel about a gentleman with what comedian Eddie Izzard would consider a great fuck-off beard asking for a friend? What does that mean? I don't quite understand. Eddie Izzard describes someone with a great fuck-off beard.
Let me read.
I don't watch Eddie Izzard. I assume it's an Eddie Izzard line of someone having a great fuck-off beard.
Yeah. I would imagine that it just means that it's really, really long, Santa-esque.
Like Gandalf.
Like Gandalf kind of thing, you know, down to the scrotum area.
I'm confused by the actual question itself. How do you feel about gentlemen with what comedian Eddie Izzard would consider a great fuck-off beard asking for a friend?
Oh, it's painful listening to you read things.
God.
I think if someone was got a massive beard and comes to talk to me,
Oh, right.
I'd be a little bit creeped out. So,
You'd think...
but we love you, Mike, because you've sent us a letter.
And he sent me a foot of gork.
A foot of gore.
Yeah,
Wow.
He
You have
sent
to
me
play
one.
with your orcs now.
I know. Well, last time I played foot of gork, it destroyed the beastman.
Nice.
It's a
So
good-
thank you very much, Mike.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we've got some more ABC. What is it again? GQC. That's it. This is from Tom Joe Truman. Can a giant be used in any army?
No.
No. Well, you can if you use the Dogs of War rules.
It used to, because
Or allies. That's
Yeah.
the one.
a lot of armies got access to giants, though.
We got criticised last time when someone says, how do orcs get Mind Razor? Who went on a convoluted way of saying a random half chance of a wizarding hat or storm of magic. So this time I'm going to say, yes, you can have a giant. Just use a giant.
Yeah. 200 points, use it, because
No,
you
not
can.
but not all armies can have one, and not many armies should have one.
They're a bit naff, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. What can a Vampire Count player do against 4 Hydras at 3,000 points? They kill faster than I can resurrect.
Okay,
That's from Jersey General.
but they don't have magic attacks, so Banshees, Wraiths, Spirit Hosts, all quite useful.
Yeah.
Also Terrorgeists and all the rest of the screams from the Banshees, and maybe even the Screaming Sword, Scab Shard, is it called, or something like that.
That's a 75-point item, isn't it?
So,
I think
what's going to happen when it runs into a Hydra? The Hydra dies. Don't get to attack the vampire. It's fine.
the Rod of Flaming Death is the
Yep. Death magic. Get some Purple Suns going. Some Spirit Leeches. Fireballs. You know.
Yeah.
Vampires do a lot.
vampires don't have fireballs. You have Ruby Ring, but they've got the staff, haven't they?
Why don't they have fireballs? Forbidden Law? Get some Forbidden Law on you.
Isn't
Get some Forbidden Law on your breakfast cereals. You know. Cornflakes and Forbidden Law. I don't know what I'm saying now.
Are you
Just-
where you're talking,
yeah.
or just the mouth opening?
Crypt Horrors sort out Hydras. So do Vargheists and Black Knights with...
Flamey banner.
No, because they've got magic attacks. Blood Knights. So, a lot.
No, I think there is a lot. Just not zombies.
Not
Skeletons
zombies. If
or
you bring in
ghouls.
thousands of skeletons and zombies and you're facing 4 Hydras, you're in a lot of trouble.
Still quite a lot there. 4 Hydras versus vampires. It's quite good.
It must be 3,000 points. Playing Grand Army rules, yeah?
Yeah. It must be quite scary, 4 Hydras.
Indeed. Okay, this is a question from Disco Queen, Adam, actually, and there's something quite cute about him. But anyway, what should the default ruling for spells like the Curse of Anrahir be? Open terrain is or isn't terrain?
I think we've talked about this.
Yeah, we talked about this when we did the Beasts episode, so I'll refer you back to episode, I don't know, 88, 86,
Yeah.
The best
84.
In a
something like that.
nutshell, open ground is terrain, so you should take difficult terrain.
Yeah, it's ruled in the rulebook like that. It's even in the FAQ, ain't it?
I don't think it's in the FAQ.
Might not be, because this is why you're asking. As far as I'm concerned, there's a passage in the rulebook which says to open terrain is a kind of terrain.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Someone's asked, where did the song that closes the show come from? It's awesome, I'd like to find it. What song is at the end?
It's yours.
Yours.
It's the opening of the music box. It's the intro to the music box.
Okay. Well, it's because in my head it's not a song. That's why I got confused from that. Oh, well, thank you very much. The song is from my album, The Music Box, and you can get the full song, which is about 3.5 minutes long, on iTunes or from Amazon.
No, it's just the intro at the very start of the music box, the intro section.
Yeah, but he said it's awesome. I'd like to find more like it.
Oh, right, okay.
So the full song is about 5.5 minutes long, isn't it? The music box song.
You've got 2 instrumentals on that album.
Yeah,
which are both very good.
Yeah. The album's called The Music Box by Gareth Peter Dix, but it is on iTunes as well, and you can get it from Amazon. But thank you very much. To be honest, I would have just answered that, as an ego thing. I was answering it because I didn't know. Thank you very much. We've got quite a lot that has come through Facebook just recently as well, so I'm going to get through a couple of these now. Hi guys, here's a question for Gareth's Query Corner. O and G Mangler Squigs are removed from play when they've gone crazy and rolled a triple for movement. Is gone crazy referring to gone crazy special rule noted 3 paragraphs earlier, or is it just a major coincidence that it's their choice of wording?
I haven't got the old book in front of me.
I think it's referring to the gone crazy rule, which is what happens when they roll a triple.
I haven't got the book in front of me because the gone crazy rule is that you go out of control once you've hit an enemy, and that's when you go out of control and you can't control which direction it's going in. That's the gone crazy rule.
Oh, right, okay. No, I think in that case, it's saying he's just gone crazy all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And died, yeah.
Okay.
I tell you what, is there an iPad version of the Orkbook yet?
Yeah.
Because things like that are highlighted in the Mangler Squig rules. So, if it was referring to the actual rule, it would be highlighted so you could click it. So that's one way of finding out.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. That
I suppose that's not the answer. I suppose they want us to find out.
I could get my Orc book if I don't know there was an Orc question. I could have brought it with me.
Don't look at me like that. You should know these questions. You're meant to be pros here. You play on the top tables now. I just play on the top tables and give people cakes. Anyway, this is from TWF Hetlick. Question for GQC. Do big spells like Dwellers and POS, what is POS?
Pit of Shades.
Pit of Shades help combat Death Star style armies, and does comping them help these armies to do well? What do you think?
Well, what was the first spell? Dwellers.
Dwellers and Pit of Shades.
Pit of Shades is not comped at all. It's the Dwellers, Final Transmutation, 13th Gateway, which all get comped to allow characters to look out sirs. Things like Dwellers doesn't let you have a lookout sir normally. So the idea is you've got a Death Star with 4 characters in it and a unit you can't beat. Dwellers just solves that problem with the Death Star. It stops you from doing Death Stars. Does it solve the problem? I don't think it's comped to stop you doing that. It's comped to stop the game from being boring where you just take your Vampire Lord off from a Dwellers. That's the reason why it's comped. Not, I think, to stop you from taking Death Stars. Because I think Death Stars can be beaten through other spells like Mind Razor. And
I think also what he was asking was, are Death Stars so good because of the comp? Is it something that's not really been thought of?
I don't... how many Death Stars win tournaments?
Ogres. 9 Iron Guts. As many Iron Guts as you can take with normally 3 or 4 characters in there. Do it quite a lot.
It's just ogres, though, isn't it? I mean, you
vampires with Vampire Lord, Necromancer in the second rank, White King, 2 or 3 Wraiths, it's another one, and the vampires with all the night units with a load of characters in.
See, I guess I understand that argument, but equally...
I mean, just for example, look at Gareth. He's not a Death Star player, yet he takes his halberdiers and puts 3 or 4 characters in there, and, it just encourages diversity of army choice of, Comp does make things awfully the same. Everything's just rinse and repeat. It
But
tends
then
to be.
without the comp, everything's just dwellers or final challenge station.
Not necessarily.
Well, I
Put
think
less
so.
reliance on characters and take units. You don't like taking units. You'd rather take characters.
No, I said Tomb Kings. I have no Tomb Kings. I have 2 characters in their pants, and the rest is the army. So
2 level 4s, both in
their
the same
pants,
unit.
I can swap them out. It doesn't matter. See, that doesn't bother me, but I just think I don't know. There's something fundamentally wrong with that. So I can see why. I think actually, personally, it's a lesser of 2 evils. Personally.
Yeah. It's a toss up, isn't it?
Because you can still, against the Death Star, the Ogre Death Star, you can still dwell as the Death Star unit and then put a cannon through the Lord because you've lost your lookout, sir. Lots of ways of looking at it.
Okay.
Cool.
Moving on.
Heading back over to Facebook, and this is from James, and I'm not going to say his name as it is, I'm going to call him Nigella. James Nigella, I have a question, ! Well, good for you, boy. My buddy and I wrestle over this one. He plays Empire, and he says, since you buy them all together, you don't score points for the detachment unit unless you destroy the parent unit, and vice versa. This feels pretty broken to me. Can you provide your thoughts? How does Gareth play it? How do your other boys play it?
There's nothing in the rule book to state that you don't get victory points if you don't kill the parent unit or vice versa.
No, I always give them the points. Basically, if they haven't killed one or the other, they still get the points for the other one. Am I doing it wrong then, or?
I
I
think
think you're right.
I think what you need to look at is the rulebook tells you what you do get points for.
Yeah.
So you do get points for destroying a unit. If you weren't going to get those points, I think the Empire book would have to say clearly that they only get the points if you kill them all.
Yeah.
Like it does for the monsters and the rider.
Yeah.
It says that you have to kill both sections.
So you've got to look at it that way.
You have to kill a complete model, yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Awesome. We'll stay over at Facebook, I think. OKGQC, he's put, and he's spelled GEECUESEE. I like it. Thank you, Grant. I have a Warhammer and a non-Warhammer question. 1. If you wanted to get a non-nerd friend into Warhammer, how would you approach him/her with your hobby? Try to slip it in slowly or expose yourself fully? What do you think?
I'd approach them with a strange look in my eye and, this is my rulebook. Do you want to play with me?
And you laugh through your nose.
I would...
Like that.
I'd approach it a little differently. I'd suggest coming away for a weekend with the guys, having some drinks, saying, pop down during the day, see what we do.
And then
You
come
might
out for a
like
meal
it.
later on.
Come out for some drinks at night. Or if there's a tournament in the local town, meet us at the venue in the afternoon. We'll go straight out for drinks afterwards. And that's the way we got Gareth in. Come
Buy
to the event,
alcohol, yeah?
Go for alcohol, but also just the social side. Introducing people to the social side first.
Yeah, definitely.
Gets people to understand why we all like the game so much.
Because didn't you come to a couple of tournaments and then we got you into it? You started meeting people.
Yeah, it was mostly because of that, but also because it was a way of actually doing something with you, because you were just booking tournaments without consulting me and just going to them.
Yeah.
Which, wives out there, isn't it, sisters, isn't it? It's not good enough, is it? No. We say no to our men. And if we don't, we withhold sex.
Hang on. You said to me the other day, can we go to Beasthammer, please? You were the one who instigated going to an event.
Yes.
One of us.
Shut up. Not this crap again. If it's a girl...
People have been tweeting it to him.
Yes, lots of people have been tweeting it to me. And I wasn't going to bring that up purposely. Because you know that every Tom, Dick and Harry is now going to start hashtagging one of us now.
One of us. Hashtag one of us.
It's just going to be as common as Warhammer lesbian.
Warhammer lesbian. But if you're wanting to get laid, mate, and this is a girl, then, I wouldn't take her to a tournament because generally they smell. Maybe...
Girls smell.
I take them to take them to the Games Workshop shop.
Shop.
Yeah, that's where you need to go. And spend the afternoon there with the 14-year-old boys. That'll get them well into the game.
Yeah. Maybe that's what you do if you actually don't like the person. You send them along to Games Workshop. Hi, what army are you collecting? Can I help you with it? Shut up and piss off. But then point number 2 for Grant is Gareth specifically. Phantom, Superstar, Rent, Les Miserables or Cats if you could only choose one. Easy. Phantom. Mark, what about you?
Les Mis.
Ben.
I don't know. I wasn't listening. I was stretching.
Phantom Superstar.
Yeah, you started talking about musicals and I cut off. I was King Herod in Superstar when I was at school.
Because you were fat, weren't you? Yeah. King Herod's generally fat.
Isn't that the Chris Moyles part at the moment?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and apparently he's awesome. Not. Right, Dave Sweeting has asked a question. We'll just move away from that. Why don't people use snotlings at tournaments?
Because they're shit.
Oh, really?
You see snotling pump wagons?
Pump wagons.
Pump wagons. Pump. Like chariots, random movement.
I think. Do you know what? They're not core, are they?
No.
Because I like the whole idea of swarms being core. Then people would probably take them, but they put them in the special.
You did see it now and again, you know, because I think was it in the current book? You see it with characters going in there so they don't get the animosity.
No, because you can't get swarms.
I know, it must be in the old book. Yeah.
See, I'd love to in the Tomb King book the swarms to be core, because then I'd probably take a couple of units.
600 points.
Yeah. 600 points, that's my core. All comes from beneath the sands as well.
Okay, back over to Twitter. This is from Mr. Anderson. Andrew Anderson asks, do you throw all the dice for a unit shooting simultaneously, even if there's a model with a different BS, which is ballistic skill, children?
Different coloured dice. Yeah,
Different coloured dice.
The only time it's different is you got the sniper rule, because the sniper can pick a different target.
Tell you what, one thing that I never really
tell
thought
us.
about, and I used to do myself, was a BSB. In fact, no, I wouldn't have done it myself because my BSB used to be in the War Dancers. But what you see a lot now is a BSB in an archer unit, shooting the archers first to kill some models, then the Hail of Doom to finish off the characters. And I'm not sure that's right, you know, because I think it's simultaneous. I think you pick a unit and then shoot with it. You don't pick a unit and then shoot with it, and then pick a character and shoot with it. I think it's all one unit. So
Yeah, I think you're right.
yeah.
Okay, one last question, because, you know, time's running out, guys and gals. This is from Jim Chadwick. What scenarios force scouts to deploy as normal? Now, there was a comp pack which made this happen. Was it Warrington? Or was it one that I was playing at?
No, I think it was Warrington.
Yeah.
But that was slightly different, because the scouts are deployed last.
Correct.
And there's always been a query whether or not the scouts stop you, because you're deploying last, you lose the +1 to go first.
Okay.
But to make scouts go deploy as normal, I haven't done it for ages, but isn't the one where you
Yeah, I think it's only the one. I think it's just the...
let's flick through our book.
So after that seamless break, where we both thumb through our rule books while we pause the recording, it looks like you can deploy scouts as scouts in every scenario. Yeah. Well, the 6 main scenarios of the rule book. Obviously, the big book has got a load of scenarios in the back, and we didn't look through them because there's some odd ones in there. So, yeah, I think you can deploy as normal in all of them. I think some of them you still have to roll to see if they start on the table in meeting engagement. So if they do start on the table, you can deploy them as scouts, and if they stay off the table, then they come on in the first turn. But other than that,
I'm sure we'll have some clever Tom Dick.
Clever
Harry.
Dick.
Yeah, clever Dick. Me. If it is, point your directions to Gareth.
Yes, and that is quite a good lead into, if you do have any questions, please do send them in to Gareth's Query Corner, whether by letter, carrier pigeon, or tweet, or Facebook, or direct message. And just to clear up a little bit of confusion as well, the questions don't have to be targeted to me, because someone said, I don't know if Gareth really cares about this. It doesn't matter. It's noob questions, it's pro questions, it's technique questions, painting questions. Anything you want to know, send them into Gareth's Query Corner and we'll try and get them asked. But do every now and again send some quirky and funny ones in as well.
Yeah, it's just listener feedback section, really, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So anything at all you want to discuss from the listeners, and we'll talk about it in this section.
Definitely.
We just called it Gareth's Query Corner, so Gareth did all the work collecting the questions, didn't we, Mark?
Give him a special bit. Make him
and I choose them, so if I think they're crap questions, I won't ask them.
Yeah,
make
that's
him feel
it.
special.
You've got to get past the Gareth filter.
And there is a big Gareth filter. But I do want to say thank you very, very much for the people that have come forward and said, well done for starting the new army. And haven't hashtagged one of us, is what I want to say. But the people that have actually oh my God. It's like really rapey and freaky. It's like school gates. Come to us. my puppies. But everybody who said thank you, everyone who said well done for, starting your own army and stuff and want to keep up the progress, I'm really chuffed with that, and I will do. I will send lots of pictures and stuff and keep you updated. So thank you very much for being polite, and good day to you all. I tilt my hat.
On that note, we'll go for another break, then we'll come back and we'll wrap up the show. Hi guys, I want to tell you about the amazing Audible service. I'm sure we all love to read, but not many of us have the time. Now you can listen to your books as you go about your day-to-day life. Commuting, painting, or even preparing your army list for your next big game. Head on over to Audible. Get a free 14-day trial and a free audiobook of your choice. It costs you absolutely nothing. It's totally free. And if you decide not to continue with the service after the trial, the book is yours forever. So, visit baddice.co.uk and click the Audible link, or go to baddice.co.uk/audible for more information and start listening right away. So that's another show wrapped up. Episode 92, The Law of Death, in the bag. Good show tonight. I think we covered a lot of ground. Got a lot of 2 tournament reports, Law of Death reviewed, lots of listener feedback. Yeah,
very much so.
Feeling good about this one. So before we get out of here, I want to give some shout-outs. First up, we've got the Beast Hammer tournament down in Portsmouth, run by Nick Pym. You heard about this on the Daily Show when Nick came on, talked about his demons and also talked about the event. And you guys are going down there, aren't you?
Absolutely.
If we get a ticket.
So I'm hearing that Gareth was the instigator on this.
Yeah, I was, but we weren't actually going. Even though Nick tried to entice us like little children with sweets. But we weren't going at all. And then I just found out the list of people that were going, and it was like all the girls, all the gang are going to be there, including one of the Australian ETC guys who I was.
Is it Actar?
No, I don't think Actar's going, is he? Oh, he might be. No, this is Nick.
Oh, right, Nick, yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's coming up to Nottingham, and I'm going to show him around. Oh, I haven't spoke to you about this. Yeah, he's coming over to Nottingham, and I'm going to be taking him out and showing him around and stuff. And he said he was going down there, and so I just happened to look at the list, and I went, oh my god, like everyone's
There's loads of other
here.
stuff, though, isn't there? There's like, you've got your MOT on your car you need to do. I need to go and look at a site down there. There's loads of things that's happening sort of down south that we need to do.
So you're going to have a long
instead
weekend.
Instead of doing multiple trips down south, we're going to just do it all in one go. So
It is. I mean, that is the thing with tournaments, though. It's a lot of them tend to be in this area, which is good because a little bit of driving. But a lot of the big ones tend to be up or down south, so we kind of have to tag it in. And when you've got dogs, which are like children, you have to kind of budget all of that in if you can't find someone to look after them. And this is the life of a tournament goer. And my first MOT has come up, and so we're teaming that in with the same thing as well.
And also like we usually leave the dogs at Dad's house, don't we?
Yeah.
So we have a dog sitter for any southern tournament. So actually, the southern ones are quite good for you and me, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. Even though this is going to be our third time for going down to Portsmouth way
This year.
Nice. I'm not going to this one. I'm thinking I might go to No Holds Barred in Nottingham, but on the same weekend, run by Will Goodwin. But I'm not sure. I feel I need a bit of a break from the Warhammer tournaments after the recent a bit burnout. I think ETC, Warlords, and a lot back-to-backs and Brothers in Arms. So thinking the next one I'm going to do will probably be Winter Incursion, because you guys are doing the Mansfield Mall as well, aren't you?
We are, doing that
So
next...
the mall is in
next weekend.
and then there's party at my house the weekend after.
Yeah,
and then there's the Mansfield Mall. No, then there's Beast Hammer the weekend after that. So there's a lot going on.
Just confirm that isn't an open invitation to all of Twitter to your party, Ben.
Yeah, no, definitely not. So... Yeah, I'm not sure. I might go, might not go. At the moment, I'm leaning against it, but definitely if you're in the Nottingham area and you want a tournament to go to, check out No Holds Barred. You can find details on the Warhammer forum.
You're doing some cakes, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to do some cakes for Will to sell for charity. So if you do go to that event and you want to have some cakes and support charity, and it definitely will be going to charity, I can assure you that, you can sample my cooking and be helping people. So I do feel a little bit bad that both tournaments, by big players within the tournament scene, are on the same weekend. But sometimes things happen.
There's a lot of events in the UK in a year, and you can't.
I think it's a real shame, because I'd like to go to both of them. Really, I do like a bit of filth. I actually wrote a Tomb King army, and I was going to do my similar 9 Necronites in one unit. And I thought I had fun going to it, so I was writing lists about it, and I thought it'd be quite fun. And a bit of filth with an uncomped environment.
Yeah, it's. I think it is good now and again. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But I am going to the Black Library Weekender at is it the Belfry Hotel in Nottingham. Me and Marcus Pitt are going over to that one. We're going to be hopefully interviewing some of the Black Library authors, checking out the seminars and finding out what's coming up new in the world of Black Library in the coming months and over the next year. And speaking of such, Marcus Pitt has started writing for the Bad Dice blog. So I've not really used the blog much. Obviously, when I post an episode, I write some show notes. Some of them are quite in-depth. Some of them are just here's the latest episode. It's a bit hit and miss but recently I've wanted to really put some effort into it. So the episodes have always got detailed show notes, and I've roped Marcus in as our first guest writer on the Bad Dice blog, and he's doing a Horus Heresy review. So a series of posts reviewing the Heresy, book reviews, sort of background, in-depth background on it. So definitely check that out. It's baddice.co.uk/heresy, and you can see all Marcus's posts. So.
Do you know what this means now?
What?
With Marcus be on the Black Dice team, Gareth can join his new team at team events.
Oh yes, I've
we
been
can have Marcus on our
headhunted.
team. Yeah, do you know? Have you heard about this? He's been headhunted.
You've been headhunted?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really? Do we get a signer's fee and all
No,
that?
you do not. I'm my own boss.
Some compensation.
So at the end of sorry, going off subject a bit, but at the end of Brothers in Arms, Annie was making a new team.
I've heard this. Yes, I have heard this.
Basically,
it's the
there's
team
gonna
of
be-
minorities. Yeah.
Yeah, the team of the minorities and the freaks. So there's going to be an ethnic, being Mo. There's going to be a girl, loosely, which is Fanny Annie. There's going to be a queer, which is me. And we're on the lookout for a Warhammer cripple or some kind of diseased person.
But you've gone for a Warhammer dwarf, Rob Downey.
Yeah, but basically, I
Does Rob
said,
know this?
Yeah.
Yes.
I literally said, "Oh, we could get Rob Downey. He's short," and he was standing right behind me.
Nice.
I've
Beautiful.
got a bit of a soft spot for him. I do quite.
I
like
do
him.
like Rob. He's a
Yeah.
good
Proper
friend of
good,
mine.
isn't he?
Really, really
I'd be
nice
scared
guy.
to meet his mum though.
Yeah, if you want to see his mum watch Watchdog.
So we didn't really talk about it when we did the Brothers in Arms review. But how did your game against Annie go on?
It was a draw technically, even though I got more VPs, but didn't get the full game in, and it was my turn. That was
You'd have killed some more stuff.
Hey,
I would have killed a lot more
Tell us the
stuff.
story about the Hell Cannon.
The Hell Cannon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she took it off.
No. You had
What?
her Hell Cannon's a pissy little pink hot dog with a
Oh, I'd
Battle
forgotten
Skull
about this.
Pass cannon on top, and she's going, "Oh, it should be about this big, so I can see over the hill."
So let me tell the full story, because a while
on.
ago she posted a photo of it on Twitter, and she's got an army of gnomes, and it's quite fun, you know, all different models. However, the Hell Cannon is probably not even a quarter of the size of the Hell Cannon model. You know, fine, use it as a cannon, it's fine. Don't put it on the middle of a 150mm base. And she said, what she said was, it won't come to it in a game, because, you know, not gamey, she will just play it like it's the Hell Cannon. And I was at the table while she was trying to shoot it at one of Gareth's wizards. So she says to Gareth, "I'm going to shoot at your wizard." And he goes, "I don't think you can see." And he looked, definitely couldn't see. True line of sight to the pig, couldn't see. And she was trying to explain to Gareth that it should be a Hell Cannon, it should be this big. And I didn't say it, I just watched. And it was clear to me that Gareth kind of had no clue what she was talking about. And as far as he was concerned, that model that was on the table couldn't see. And when I said to Annie on Twitter, I said, I'm not a fan because of True Line of Sight. I got some stick for that. A few people sort of made comments on, Curry being gamey. But that wasn't the fact that I was being gamey. I wasn't saying she was trying to use a model that was too small or anything like that. I just thought it would lead to confusion, you know, because it was just clearly the wrong size for what was intended. And when Gareth was innocently just going, he wasn't trying to be gamey or anything, he wasn't trying to pull anything, he was just going, "But it can't see." And she was going, "Yeah, but it should be over here like this." And he was like,
But it ain't.
"But I just can't see it."
It's a
it
tiny
just-
little pig with a tiny little cannon on the back. I had no kind of gravity that it was a massive, huge
No,
model at
you
all.
just didn't know.
And I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
I also couldn't see the base of the model either from it, so I didn't allow her to shoot at it. And I wasn't being gamey, I'm truthful. If I
Gamey.
will... No, shut up. I'm
No,
not.
he was right there, because if it was the Hell Cannon model, it would have been able to see.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the Hell Cannon model. And fair enough. 9 times out of 10, you explain to your opponent, well, it should be a hell cannon, you should be able to see. Fine. Gareth was just like, he had no concept of what a hell cannon was. And it was just, it made confusion. And that was the reason I said on Twitter, I'm not a fan. I like the model. It's nice, pig with a cannon on the back. It's dead fun. But use it as a magma cannon or something on a smaller base. I think she says she's going to put it on another rock. So
I think she should.
2 rocks with a pig on top.
Yeah.
So
I had a lot of fun playing her though. I know I would have got a lot more points because Mark also told me that the big combat we did at the end, I said wrong for my toughness, didn't I?
No,
Should have been.
Demigriffs.
My Demigriffs.
Oh,
I'm completely
piercing.
forgetting that, so I would have probably completely
few more
destroyed
men.
that whole unit, what she would have had there, and it would have drastically altered the game. So I'm a bit gutted, really. But I had a lot of fun playing her. So the result didn't matter to me, which I know that you
it did to
disagreed
us because
with.
the rest of the team.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Anyway, on that note.
So it was all good. But yeah, on that note, we'll wrap up the show. Thanks to everyone who sent the feedback in from the Query Corner, and keep it up with the forum posts, Facebook, Twitter, and all that.
Will we have news next
like
time
Mark-
about the podcast awards? Or will that be?
It's disclosed
So
now.
yeah, that's the point. Thanks to everyone who's nominated for us at the podcast awards. Nomination period has closed. Find out on the 28th of December if we've actually been shortlisted, and if we are, I think there's a 2-week voting period where everyone can vote every day. So if we do get nominated, expect to be spammed every single day with emails, tweets, Facebooks, texts to get your votes in every day. But
And that is from me as well, because if you don't, and you listen to this, then you have no right to listen to it if you don't do that tiny little thing for us.
yeah,
Bye.
so it's all good. So, okay, guys, thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode where we're going to do the Empire Army book review. Yes, I know we've missed vampires. We'll come back to them, but we're going to do the Empire Army book review.
Have we
And
even done an ogre one?
we've done an ogre one. Yes, we had Joel Henry
Oh
on.
yes, we did.
We had wibbly wobbly eggs, boy.
We did.
So yeah, Empire review. So send your questions in. Send them into either of us on the Twitters or Facebook, and check the show notes for all the links to everywhere you can send the feedback. So okay, guys, thanks for listening.
Much love.
Peace.
Ciao.